as we set it up.
Well, I've got it at the top too. The bottom one's desktop audio. Yeah, I just wanted to put a different name next to, like keep it at B1 and B2, but have something written like my mic or something, whatever's mine. Because to me, desktop audio is something that's playing from the computer, like from YouTube or something. That's what I thought.
Harry, the audio, you know that the peanuts can hear you.
Yep, you're gone live.
Well, they can't hear me now. Oh yeah, they can hear me. No, you can't, Carl. We need that one. And the panel B1. Do you want to hear
Yeah.
the panel? Well, going by all these bells and whistles, we're live. If the panel say hello, we'll check to see if they're live.
Oh,
Going by all these bells and whistles, we're live. Oh, I can hear. No, that's not me.
not me.
Not me.
Me.
Panel say hello, we'll check to see if they're live. Do we have to guess?
Okay.
Put your hand up if you're the culprit. You got a hand here somewhere.
I confess, I did it. I did it. It was me.
Yeah, I can't put a hand up. I can do a thumbs up and a thumbs down, but I can't do a hand. No, we've got a General
Let me see if
Nuisance
I-
in the chat, or General Shady. Florida. Carl. Yeah. So, who remembers last Wednesday evening's Derp? Anybody?
Oh, I think we all remember last Wednesday evening.
He could forget.
You're going to kill the rest of our brain cells by showing us the rest of it, aren't you?
Well, there is another half.
Well, I suppose we're going to have to get it done, aren't we?
Like proverbial rip the band-aid off.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got it already here. General says I barely remember. What do you want me to play it from the beginning again then, General?
No, Terry. You try that and there won't be any stream.
Within, without. That's it. See, Florida remembers.
Without, without.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy. A guy that wore a balloon for a hat.
Yeah.
I'll just check the sound.
A lot of us can't necessarily take a lot of
You
sun.
just
So
turn the sound down there.
if you can't take the sun at hours like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 12, take the sun by 8 a.m. or take the sun by 6 or 5:30 p.m. God damn.
Oh,
Shit, the
what
power
happened?
just went out. Hold up. Take
He lost his power.
take
He
take the
lost
sun
his
by 8
he
a.m.
lost
or
his
take the sun by
electrical
6 or 5:30 p.m.
He lost all his
Hey.
electrical.
Yeah.
He-
And anyway, I don't go out in the sun. It burns. It burns. I go red. It peels. I go white. Why would I want to go out in the sun?
But those times he
Burns
gave,
our skin, does it?
he didn't say
It
what
burns our skin.
he didn't
Yes.
say what time of the year to go out. He just said time. Like,
No, it doesn't matter what time of the year I go out. If I've got exposed skin, it burnsies. I definitely like Gollum, you know.
he took the sun.
This shit is some crazy shit. But y'all gotta bear with me, man. I'm in the zone. I'm gonna have to wait for them to put it back up. So now, that's how it works. Alright? That's how it works. Alright? So
he's distracted.
I mean, this is just it.
Oh, wait
So
a minute,
now
I forgot
your frequency vibration can now, you're now magnetically in tune. So the key word here is this. Understand. Okay. I've been talking too much, right? But I should have driven my point home to say this now. It's not a blackout, man. The power went off, but she'll be back on soon.
Well, isn't that what a blackout is?
That's what I was going to say.
No, it's not a blackout. The power went out. But that's not a blackout. Okay.
Understand that you are a battery. This is why they are feeding off your energy. They harvest your energy because you're a battery. If you aren't a battery, how do you think, what would they need you for? You're a battery.
Actually, we're not
You're electrical
batteries.
in nature.
So we're only needed because we're a battery.
Although we do convert sugars to energy, don't we?
The body's supposed to have so many milliamps or
But-
something, isn't it?
Oh, we generate but yes, and I suppose we are a chemically rechargeable battery, kind of, maybe, but the trouble is that we don't last very long if we don't keep topping it up with complex carbohydrates.
Those things.
You know, complex long chain chemicals based on carbon and hydrogen.
Mm.
Carbohydrates.
Well, actually, I was thinking of but
Yeah.
organic compounds in general. Yeah,
But these entities want you to be feeding off the sun because they have been blocked off from collecting energy from the sun. So they want you to be feeding off of the sun while they feed off of you through fear. Huh?
I think he's saying we're not. Yeah, we can't go out in the sun at all, and we don't get any recharge to be like batteries get recharged.
No.
No?
What he's saying, Terry, is that the lizard people can't feed off the sun, so
Right.
they want us to feed off the sun, and then they're going to feed off us.
You know what? You know what this is. You know what this all is, don't you? This all is a not very good regurgitation of spirit science.
Yeah.
It's really, really funny though, because spirit science is bad, but this is like a whole new level.
Yep.
Well, the only bad thing he's told us not what to do is stick our tongues on batteries. Disclaimer: don't do that though.
Loosh. Now, the energy they feed off of you is called loosh. Now, you must understand that
Called douche or loosh? They got douche written there.
Loosh.
They made a
Oh,
Loosh.
Sorry, I was reading the subs.
Yeah, me too. I think he said loosh, but douche came out.
that's how the system was designed, to siphon our energies. Okay? So, electromagnetism is the key word. The only way that we can free ourselves from willingly falling into the trap of the false ones is by transcending the realm of electricity and desire to the realm of magnetism and attraction. I didn't
Got to transcend it.
Excuse me, I'm now having a breakdown.
So electricity and desire to the realm of magnetism and attraction.
Attraction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's electromagnetism.
He obviously hasn't heard of the unified theory of electromagnetism, has he?
Well, no, but he used electromagnetism as a word,
Yeah.
so I thought he might have done.
He hasn't displayed any magnetism. He's only just explained the electricity, like for batteries. But I don't know where he's getting the magnetism part from yet.
speak science. I didn't speak anything. This is the most practical way anybody can tell you this thing. And this is how you This is how you win this fucking.
How many? This is how you.
It's
Well,
not
this
this, it's dis, Terry. Dis.
Oh, this
is how.
This.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Matrix. This is the keys. This is. Damn.
He's chastising himself.
That's
Isn't
what
he?
you call a eureka moment.
He just thought of it then.
Either he's choking with laughter because he can't believe the pony stuff he's sprouting, or he really is lost.
This is what? Yeah, that's right, Carl.
This is that's it. But how many of you here are willing to ground yourselves by all means necessary? How many of you are
He keeps saying grounding. I don't think that means what he thinks it means.
Well, I do quite often ground myself when I'm working on what used to be known as SSDs, static sensitive devices, because you don't want to be fixing components into circuit boards that are dead because you've just killed them by touching them.
here willing to, all you sex addicts here, right? How many of you? And I have to be.
Hey, all these sex addicts here.
What sex?
Hey,
Chance would be a fine thing.
28 years married. Yep.
hey, all you peanuts out there, he's talking to you.
Be very, very cold. How many of you here are willing to? You say, man, damn, man, I gotta chill with the way I just eat. Man, I no more sex, man. The next thing you know, you talk, man, that girl got a fat ass. You see the problem, and it's not you, it's your flesh. You gotta fucking tame this flesh. The mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh is extremely weak. Your mind, your flesh, and your soul, your spirit, they're not the same, bro. It's like saying in a computer system, this is why humans can be explained the computer in any way, shape. Computers are great ways to explain the inner workings of humans.
Are they?
You have the hard drive of the computer. You have the RAM of the computer. And then you have maybe the CMOS battery. A lot of you might not be familiar with that, but this is what it means. These are three things that store memory, but then they still
No, they're not.
No, what?
The CMOS battery certainly doesn't store any memory.
No.
It might stop the CMOS memory used for holding the basic input-output operating system, so that can hold its memory. But yeah.
And there's a fair bit more to a computer than just those three things.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, a microprocessor for a start.
Yeah.
Yeah, but each just sticking to the three things that store memory. Yeah.
No. Because the CMOS battery doesn't store anything. It provides power.
So out of those three things,
three things that store memory, but then they still work for one computer that we're watching. The CMOS battery helps to store time of the computer so time never leaves. The hard drive helps to store long-term memory, and the RAM helps to store short-term memory. It's pretty much the same thing. So in order for us to so don't let and then we have the battery now, which is your flesh.
Finish a sentence, for Christ's sake.
So your mind is synonymous to the freaking hard drive. Your flesh is synonymous to the battery of the computer. Your intuition and your subconscious mind is synonymous to the RAM. So what am I saying in essence? I'm trying to let you know that
I think he
the
just
battery
mixed all
is
them
always
up.
going to
Didn't
be,
matter which
it's
way
always
they
going to
went.
die when it's weak, though, right? But it's always going to want to do. When the battery wants to die, it dies. But while the battery is alive, what can you do with the battery? Like, what can you make out of the battery? What can you, the battery time is limited. That's why it has to do what it has to do. Your flesh is limited. That's why it wants to do certain things. Come on, bro. Like, bro, man, she just passed you and like, bro, that girl got a fat ass. I've been there. No,
You said that before.
and I'm not gonna act like I'm some perfect saint, man. Shit, bro, women are beautiful. Women are very beautifully made, okay? And I thank the creator for that. All right, I thank the universe. All right, but come on, our mind needs to win the flesh. If not, that's how the matrix traps us, man. All right, you're constantly dissipating your sexual energy for the wrong reasons, and you think that you're going to get a reciprocated resource. You think you're going to get back that energy. No, you won't. There's no way you can. All right, you can't. You won't. All right, we take home from this. We are batteries. Okay, we are batteries, fam. Batteries that have the ability to not, with no limits to what our electric conduction can be. So we can be as low as a 1-volt battery that conducts DC current, and we can be as high
It's just the lighter for a battery.
a generator that conducts 1,000 watts, and I don't even know if it might be more, 1,000 watts of current, of amplitude, of
Amplitude.
Hang on.
Yeah, I know. So I thought I'd pause it near there because I thought there was something.
Yeah.
So I guess our conductance must be something in the region of 1,000 Siemens then.
Well, he's mixing up all the units, isn't he?
I know. Well, that's why I use the unit for conductance rather than the unit for resistance.
Yeah.
But if our 1-volt battery is going to pump 1,000 amps through it, it's going to have a conductance of about.
But he didn't say 1,000 amps, Alan. He said 1,000 watts of amplitude.
Yeah.
No, he said 1,000 watts. So,
He said 1,000 watts of amplitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but 1,000. I know, but I was just like 1,000 watts, 1 volt. That's 1,000 amps.
Irish Stew's got a good one, he says. And the face is the monitor. That's why Blue advises moving it out of punching range.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't put the disclaimer up, did I? Sorry. I should have got Blue to say it.
current,
What a
of amplitude.
Yeah, 1,000 watts of
Yeah, so
current
he
of
did.
amplitude.
No, that. Yeah.
Of amps,
Current of amplitude of amps.
current, voltage. So we have the
I don't think
potentiality
he's
in
an
this
electrician.
vessel that is very, very, this is the most important technology ever. We have the potential capacity to, and when I say potential, I mean we can grow into it. Capacity to transcend from 1 volt to 10,000 watts. But this is not something we see physically. We have an energetic body that is responsible for this. Remember, we exist in different planes. The physical plane, the emotional plane, the mental plane, the astral plane, okay? And then we exist in different dimensions. 3rd dimension here, the 4th dimension,
Oh, yeah,
5th
third, fourth
dimension, 6th
dimensions, yeah,
dimension,
that's
7th dimension, 8th dimension, 9th
8,
dimension.
8, 9?
9
Up to the
dimensions.
first dimension.
9, yeah. What, 9? Wow. Are we going to go for 10?
Definite spirit stance here.
Are we going to go for a 10 dimension?
And the 2nd dimension, which is the Earth's core. The 3rd dimension back, which is the surface of the Earth. Density, density,
Hang
density,
on.
density.
So
Yeah, hang on.
the inner Earth, the inner Earth is a lower dimension than the core.
Yeah, apparently that's
Which
the
is
2nd dimension.
And then the next dimension is the crust.
Yeah. Go figure.
Yeah, this is just point and laugh territory now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now he's saying an inner Earth. I wonder if he believes in that inner Earth thing.
Maybe this is where within came from.
And the second dimension, which is the Earth's core. The third dimension back, which is the surface of the Earth. Density, 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 oversoul, density, 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 starts again. So I hope somebody might be able to fathom what I just said, but it's what it is. Okay, this is just the understanding of the inner workings of how this universe is. We are the universe, but we are voltage. We generate current to.
Isn't he also a flirt?
Okay.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not anything.
That's the freaking shit. That's all.
Didn't you say last week?
I don't want to make it more complicated. I think that's it. I think that's all. I said my point. All right. I said it. That's the damn thing.
Culty.
All right. That's it.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
All right. That's it. And this is how we get the energy. This is how we're able to defeat these low vibrational entities that can only feed off of us if we are vibrating low. Look around you. Look at the foods. Walk into a store. What do you see? You might be seeing M&M's, Skittles, Bounty, Toblerone. All I see is Archons, Succubus, Spirits will attack me this night if I eat this one. For real though,
I like all those
right?
sweetness.
That's serious.
Why I'm so
That's all
clear.
I see. Archons, Succubus, Archons. Your subscribe.
Suckable.
I think it's called advertising.
I just like how difficult the auto
Translate,
thing is
yeah.
finding this. Yeah, the speech to text is struggling with.
Yeah, icons.
It did get succubus out of him a couple of times though, instead of whatever else.
Soccer balls.
Instead of soccer balls, yes.
Any more icons?
Subscribing to it. Nothing is imposed on you. We willingly subscribe to the things that are used against us. So you be asking yourself how you eat crap. You eat shit, and then the next day you see that tomorrow someone can just come and carry you and beat you anyhow, and then just lock you up somewhere and just do anything they want to do to you, and you think that doesn't have a spiritual equivalent. You think there is no spiritual reason for that to be permitted. Of course, you blocked your frequency. Imagine you are your 20,000 volts now, all right? Or let me just be more, your 200. Your 200.
Oh my God.
20,000 volts. I hope that's a static. Well, even as a static charge, that's going to be not very nice.
Imagine you're 500 volts, and now that means that you're already conducting electromagnetic energy now. Okay, electromagnetism. You're already electromagnetically tuned, and then now you go eat. You walk into the store and you buy meat that has dead energy, right? You buy
Dead energy.
candy.
Well, that's it.
You're gonna go down that road, is he?
What on earth is dead energy?
Well, the cow's dead, so it's got no energy anymore now. That's what I'm thinking. Where he's going with that. So you got to eat a live cow to have live energy.
Candy. You buy more candy and then buy some alcohol to top it off, and then you flex
Sounds
it
like a
off.
plan.
That's a good idea.
I think that's about the only sensible thing he said so far.
Beer and Skittles.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're already doing this, nothing will happen to you because you're already in a very low vibration. So in fact, right? But if let's imagine you're like me. For example, Then I do this shit now, and then I go to bed this night. I might not even wake up tomorrow. They will kidnap me. They will kidnap me in the astral plane. I keep me there because damn, he finally lagged. He fucked up. Let's eat all of his energy. They might keep me in a coma. Right. What I'm trying to say in essence is, all these things are what we subscribe to. We willingly learn about willpower is one thing we have that can't be taken away from us, for crying out freaking loud. We willingly subscribe to rubbish so they can willingly do what they want to us, because now, like I said, you are on a 500 volts energy, but when you ate that shit, you dropped to 20 volts. Are you getting me? These entities have been
I think he's saying numbers, but I don't think he knows what they mean.
No, I don't think he does.
banished from receiving light directly. So the only way they can receive light is through us. Right? So they created a matrix. We are receiving the light, but we are being fed the fear to loosh out the light, and the entities absorb the light through maybe when there are concerts, large gatherings of events, like football matches, for example. There are two teams. One team is going to be happy at the end of the day, one team is going to be very sad. What is the spiritual meaning behind that shit? One team will be happy, sure, but what happens to the team that is sad? They're mad, they're angry. They're angry, they're mad. 10,000 people on this side, 10,000 people on that side. And I'm just saying, I know it's usually more, but imagine. These 10,000 people now are mad because they lost, they're infuriating. That accumulative collective consciousness of an energy of grief and sadness. Don't you think it accumulates and someone is absorbing that energy? Ooh, yes, give me that energy. There's a certain entity.
10,000 people.
Ask yourself why these things are so invested in heavily.
Football team I used to play
That's
for,
a lot
if
of
it
crowd.
got 10. Yeah, sorry, my brain's a bit slow.
That's why. Now you know. That's freaking why. All right. I have a group chat. I have a Discord group chat. If you want to go to the group chat, click the link on my bio, right? And then click the link there, and then just you see Discord. Join the Discord. All right, join the Discord group chat.
Do we have to?
You feel me? That's it. That's how it
You're not
works.
joining your cult.
Have you ever asked yourself what happens in things like the Olympics? What happens in things like, you know, what happens? What happens in all these big events? That's what happens. That's what freaking happens. Okay? Energy harvesting is a real damn thing. Damn it! They're trying to stop it again. I already said all I want to say. If they stop it, that's their damn business. I'm done. I am done. I'm finna go see what's up in my power. I'm done. I already said what I want to say, family. You know, with all this being said, I'm gonna be tapping out now. This video is short. I want to save it and post it on my YouTube. I'm gonna post this video because this video is very important. Alright, you feel me? So before they delete the video, I'm finna save the video. So people, that's what I want to let you know. Alright, you feel me? Learn about electricity, learn about magnetism, learn about electromagnetic induction. Learn about, you know,
magnetism. Okay, he said electromagnetic induction, so he knows about the unified theory then, doesn't he?
You'll have to ask him.
Go on his Discord, Alan.
Yeah, go on his Discord, Alan.
No.
See what he knows.
Created from electricity through heat. So how can you heat up your electrical body? By increasing the amount of electricity that is present inside your system. Your diet, your meditation, your connection with nature, your connection with things that are natural and have life. Everything around you is electric. The trees are electric. The air is electric. Why do you think you see thunders in the sky? Electric. Your water conducts electricity because it is electrical in nature itself. Water is electric. Yes, water is electric. But then...
The water's electric.
Did you hear me or something?
That was good timing, Paul.
Yeah.
That'd come in handy. That's because we'd have an abundance of electricity if that was the case.
Yeah. And the trees are electric too, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And water that has fluoride inside is void of electricity.
Oh, okay, he's one of them too.
Actually,
Ah.
water that has dissociated salts in it conducts electricity. Pure water is an insulator.
Mm.
Trouble is, it's really, really, really hard to get pure water.
Yeah,
Since
I
water
wouldn't
is
rely on
such a,
that.
because water is such a good solvent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul. You knew I'd forgotten the word I was after before I even forgot it.
That's why
I'm
fluoride
so
water.
glad how my brain works.
Sorry?
I was saying, I'm so glad he knows how my brain works.
That's the thing. Fresh water, rainwater, if you store it up and take your normal fluoride tap water, depending on where you are, and try to do a test of electrical conduction in two of them, you're going to realize that the first one has the ability to conduct more electricity. So that one might even get hotter. The fluoride one might not even get hot on time because there is a...
What? I don't think so.
No. Yeah. Let's just say, conduction-wise, wrong way round.
Was he saying the water will get
I think
hot?
you'll find that the concentration of fluoride in the water is so low that I don't think it would affect the conductivity much at all.
No, because as we said, water is such a good solvent that even raindrops have some level of salts in them, and then they sit in that water butt for a little while, leaching whatever out of it.
Well, raindrops nucleate around impurities and particles in the air before they fall down. So every raindrop has some kind of impurity or particle that it's within it anyway. So it's not pure water.
That's how they form.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting my physics. I apologize.
Don't have any dust in the atmosphere, you won't get raindrops forming.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole theory behind cloud seeding, to provide the nucleation points. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. If there's no particles, it doesn't matter how humid it gets. It's really difficult to form droplets, isn't it?
Yep.
That's unusual when it's raining. You always see cloud. Yeah.
Lesser space for electricity to trend to move in that body. Water is electrical in nature. Anything that's electrical in nature has intelligence. Hence, water has intelligence.
Oh, intelligent! We've got intelligent water now. Got smart water.
Damn, I was just drinking some.
Got smart water.
Hey, Terry, there is a product in the UK called Smart Water.
Oh, is there?
Yes, it's basically it's a criminal identification system. Basically, if you break in somewhere and the alarm goes off, it sprays you with water. Or at least what you think is water. But the water has these microscopic bits in it that have a serial number on them.
Wow.
What I want to know, Alan, is a 12-volt battery? Is a 12-volt battery more intelligent than a 9-volt battery?
Yeah, because it's got more volts in it.
I tell you what.
Yeah. Simply has to be.
A 1.2 volt, rechargeable cell is more intelligent than he is.
Yeah, but a rechargeable battery is a programmable battery, so it's got programmable intelligence.
Why am I getting the feeling that thing on that guy's head is what's left of his father's condom?
Yeah.
They've got left there. He just grew into it, you reckon?
Yeah.
Hence, we are intelligent. Hence, intelligence is all around us. Hence, when rain falls, that is the fall of intelligence. When evaporation goes back up, that is intelligence. So if you think that you really know some shit, let me tell you something. I can talk to water right now and tell water to tell.
You can talk to water?
Oh.
Well,
He's going to tell the water to do what?
I've got a glass of cola here. Can I talk to it? Yeah.
No, because it's lost
Oh, it's
its
in
intelligence with the impurities, Terry.
Oh, it's dumb. It's dumb water then.
Yeah, it's dumb water now.
Dumb water. That's stupid water. But couldn't I send it to school and relearn?
Now you're just being silly.
I mean, I'm being silly. What do you mean I'm being? Oh dear.
To tell you something where you are, and then I talk to the water and I keep the water. I pour the water away inside the soil, and I set the intention. Just depending on the vibrational thing, this is something that's possible, all right? And then I just leave the water, and then I go back inside my house, and then the water evaporates to the clouds. The clouds find its way to you wherever you are in this world, and it rains there, and then you telepathically absorb that information.
Crying out loud.
You telepathically absorb it from when it rains. Well, next time it's raining, I'm going to go and stand out in the rain and
Talk to the water and I'll
telepathically absorb that information.
Trying to get here, it rains here all the time, so.
Well, you try that experiment,
Terry,
Pip.
We'll
Terry, the weather here usually moves from west to east, right? so if I get a glass of water and tell it a message, and then pour it out in the soil, and it evaporates, and then the clouds move to the east and rain down, that message should be received by someone further east, shouldn't it?
It should, in theory.
Yeah.
You don't think it'll get lost in translation, but it should work, yeah.
Yeah, it probably gets jumbled up with everyone else's messages. You know, like all those dog messages that are being sent.
Oh, yeah. Get the wrong message.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I'm just telling you the possibility.
What, you're going to...
Sorry, I just wanted to ask Paul a quick question. Is your electric 50 or 60 hertz?
50.
It's all right.
Right?
Yeah, it was just for an answer for General Shady in the side chat.
Of things in this infinite earth that we live in, this infinite realm. I feel me. So I could keep going. I could keep going on and on and on. Everything is connected. Every damn thing is connected, but with different cords. Some things are connected electrically. Some things are connected magnetically. But at the end of the day, everything has an electric connection to it, regardless. All right. This part of this air and this part of this air now are connected. They are connected, but air is a medium that is like a wireless, field.
Wireless transmissions, that's the whole point of being wireless. They transmit through air. You mix that around, that one.
You feel me? So when we breathe in prana, and it makes you feel that's electricity you just breathe in, damn it. You feel me? all right guys, take care of yourselves, family. I'm gonna be signing out now. I'm gonna put this video up on my YouTube, and big shout out to everybody. Shout out to all of you. And I can see people here want to come live, but most likely tomorrow, or if the power comes back on maybe later today, I might come live to talk to some of y'all. But until then, you feel me? This is bye for now. Take care of yourselves, multi-dimensionally tuning now. If you have a DM to send me, you can send me the DM now. I'm replying few DMs now. Please keep it very short. And then if you want me to reply your message, though, send me an email, right? And keep it very short. With that being said, fam, peace and power. Take care of yourselves. I'm out.
Alan, you need to talk to that guy.
Why is he relying on emails and DMs?
Well, he could just send the message next time it rains. Yeah.
Just get the plants. Okay.
Why is he relying on emails? Yeah. could telepathically get the message.
Oh dear me.
Oh, that was very derpy. Unbelievable.
I haven't got a word for like the next level after Derp. There's
yeah.
Brain damage.
So have you got some more conventional Derp for us, or?
I'll just
Please, it's flat earth any day. Please bring flat earth back.
Everybody go and recharge your batteries.
Well, I've got some low vibrational food here. Some rum and raisin chocolate.
You've got rum and raisin ice cream, did you say?
Chocolate.
Rum and raisin chocolate.
I heard cake can be very stimulating.
Yeah, I've got cake in the I've got cake in the kitchen, but I don't want to.
It's only 11 o'clock. It's far too early for cake. Give it an hour.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. It's still and I only had my breakfast at like 9:45. Oh, sorry, I only finished my breakfast about 9:45.
Oh, did somebody already guess that JD guy?
Yep.
That was quick. That was quick. Somebody guessed who your avatar was. Who did that? Who guessed it?
Pip.
Pip did? Oh. Okay.
Don't sound so surprised. I think I got one before as well.
So who is he, Pip?
No idea. John Dalton. Chemist, physicist. Discovered something.
Okay. Very generic.
Yeah, Flo. I really hope your phone is IP67 then, if you're going to chuck it in the water next time to charge it up.
I'd advise against that.
Well, them IP67 ones are okay. Not too bad. You can get away with putting them in water for a little while.
Dear. We're running 5
But you're
minutes
much better
ahead.
off to use an inductive loop charger if your phone will take the charge from one rather.
So can you just imagine in the supermarket aisle where you've got all the Evian and the Deep Spring waters sitting there on the shelves, sneering across the aisle at the soft drinks because they're not as intelligent.
Yeah. I wonder if they were those posh bottles of water. Think the same as the fizzy pop as we do of the flat earthers. Are the fizzy pops the flat earthers of the drinks world?
Yeah.
Alan, I think you're going a wee bit too deep into that. I'm worried about you. Come back.
But these things worry me at times. But yeah, and it's always nice to have a key on where the flat earthers are in the stupidity ranks, doesn't it?
Was that our quota of Derp tonight? Is it Terry, or have you got anything else for us?
I haven't got anything else that I'd noticed, but I did want to get Mage out of the way with Mr. Sensitive. Mr. Sensible.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, because we've been waiting on that. And also we've got Okay, we got that as well. We could play that later. It's not Derp, but it's shilling someone's video that somebody's maybe making an apparatus for some sort of testing. So I'll leave that, have that ready. If I don't grab it now, I'll forget. We can watch that bit later. And... oh, okay. I'll show that as well. But in the meantime...
Who's Lindsay Harris?
Don't know.
Who? Where?
Oh, General Shade is saying, can we laugh at Lindsay Harris? But I have no idea who
I don't
Lindsay
know
Harris
who that is. Who's that, General Nuisance? I've got no idea. I can't see any other dirt. That's all there is.
She's only got 308 subscribers, but 78 videos. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah?
He is pretty derpy.
Is it our sort of derp?
Yes, that's what
it's... yeah. Yep. Definitely.
You think it's our sort of dirt? Where you going to shove it in any other vids or homework?
Well, if you just go to your YouTube and type in Lindsay Harris, Lindsay Harris, you'll come up with his channel, Terry. You'll probably recognise the guy.
Well, General Nuisance wasn't doing anything, so I'll have to go to YouTube. Paste. Lindsay Harris, 308 subscribers. Is that the one?
That's the one, Terry.
That's the one, Terry.
Yep, he put out a video 21 hours ago.
Oh,
Flat Earth Season Explained through the eye of Horus.
That guy.
Yeah, you recognise him now?
Yeah, he does those stupid drawings on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't caught up with him lately. So he wants the last one he did 21 hours ago. Flat Earth Season Explained through the eye of Horus. Okay. We'll throw him in there. Also, I'll have to subscribe to him, that way I get the thing for him. So I can keep
Better you than me, Terry.
I know the sacrifices I have to make.
You have to sacrifice, yeah.
Copy. I'll throw him over in. I'll put him in stream homework for now, because that way you'll know that that's what we're all doing tonight. There we go. Yeah, the other one, the Mad put in nano robots in face cream or something. I don't know what that was. Okay. Yeah, this guy's, out there. Push your monitors back thing and whatever it is. How's it go?
Oh, yeah. Oh, mine, I haven't got any on.
Me either.
It's fact. You can't debunk it. You can argue about it. You might not accept it, but you can't debunk it. Every which way I turn, I find more evidence. The flat Earth model, centre north vortex. Looking down on Earth, looks like that. We've seen sea creatures, flowers, whatever look like this. I'm about to show you
Looks like a pumpkin from
how
the
the
top.
sun works and the seasons on the flat Earth. The true model, not what we've been watching on flat Earth sites for the last 10 more years.
Somebody said, oh, that's not a her, that's a him.
It's to do with this system, the vortex, with the 23.4 degree elliptics inside there. And
Oh, I wonder why it's
it's all
23.4 degrees.
associated with what the ancient Egyptians had
Yeah,
left
that
us.
number seems familiar for some reason.
The eye of Ra.
666.
The eye of Ra is our sun, and it sits in here.
Megan.
And it sits in here as an eye because there we have the electrical
Bob
circuit through the
said it's
guts
bum cheeks.
with a plasma field. So
Or maybe
imagine like scalar waves, as some people call it,
Scalar
or
waves?
the vortex, the spiraling, the Milky Way.
What's a
You've seen
scalar wave?
the spiraling of the Milky Way, like the double helix in our DNA,
Because
but closed system.
pretty much all
You look at
waves have to be
the
vector
Milky Way, that's what you
quantities,
see.
Hey?
Paul, I am right in thinking that all waves are in effect a vector quantity.
Yeah.
So how can you have a scalar wave?
And then the Milky Way is not a double helix.
No, it's a single helix.
It's not a helix at all.
spiral.
Oh no, it's a spiral. Yes,
Yeah.
of course it is. It's a spiral. It's flat. It's flat. It's predominantly flat in one direction.
Well, in there sits the sun, and the Egyptians worshipped the crocodile, the Nile crocodile, because the crocodile head looks like where the sun sits in the Milky Way. It's tucked in like the crocodile's eye, sitting just in there at the top, and it's sitting vertically in here. That sun is tucked into the Milky Way, so at night with a good telescope you see all the brightness behind it.
I keep hearing multi-way.
Milky Way.
Okay.
I think he's got an accent.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what, but
Might be Kiwi.
I think
Might
we
be
might
Kiwi.
need subtitles, Terry.
I think, no, he hasn't got any.
Well, it's just you. I can hear Milky Way.
Yeah, he might be
Yeah,
Kiwi.
same here.
It might be Kiwi, Alan.
Milky Way.
Earlier on in the night, but as the night moves further around, 'cause this is turning, we see it really bright here, tucked in there, but later on in the night when it's right around here, you can hardly see the brightness through the Milky Way, through the nest. It's like a straw, like in the Wizard of Oz, the strawman. What was this scarecrow thing? Straw, that's what it represented. Straw, the Milky Way.
Yep.
So with the straw we have the crocodile. And inside that crocodile is the Eye of Ra.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Eye.
I think we've got some competition for Derp
Like,
tonight.
just pause it for a moment,
Scale
Terry.
waves or
It's like he's jumping from one concept to another so rapidly and so randomly that you can't follow it.
Yeah. I can't
One
even
minute
work
he's talking
out.
about a crocodile, next minute he's talking about the Milky Way, and then he's talking about a friggin' scarecrow.
And the Eye of Ra.
I
What
think,
the hell?
The Eye of Ra
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
I think it,
Yeah.
I think it might be that maybe the Egyptians saw the Milky Way as a crocodile because they were
Reasons.
venerated because of the Nile crocs or something of that sort, ilk thing.
I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That'll do. Just get an
Well, I've got
explanation
no
of
idea
I
it.
what
don't
these
know. I
two.
mean, yeah.
I've got no idea what these two half spheres are supposed to be side by side. That's. I can't work that out.
Thank God it's flat. Hello. Cheeky.
John Rapp has it exactly. Oh, it's a new fantastical conflagration of disparate, scientifically sounding, thingamy thinking derpetology.
Yeah,
Oh, thanks, John. You've summed it up. For us.
Okay. So this is what the Egyptians actually thought of the Milky Way. So the Egyptians in mythology, the Milky Way was considered a pool of cow's milk. The Milky Way was deified as a fertility cow goddess by the name of Bat. Yeah. So it wasn't anything to do with crocodiles. It was
Okay,
cows.
my mistake. It just seemed like it might have been something he picked up somewhere. But, you know.
Plasma.
North is the middle of Flatadia, the center of the vortex. Okay.
Field.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, it sounds kiwi.
Coming up. It's flowing up. Inside the middle, inside here, does not flow up. It's heading that way. But the magnetic field around it, the big vortex, because this is sitting in the center, is the bulge, is winding up. So everything winds up around it.
I think he's winding us up. Huh? I don't know.
But things get recycled back down here. And at one point, when we have our main ecliptic that we know of, all the planets and the moon, everything go around. There's the sun. It's like this. There's the ecliptic. And the sun is tucked in here. Well, the sun looks like this, its eye. It's shaped like that eye because it's a magnetic field. It's stretched it out.
What?
But we see the sun as pretty much a perfect circle.
Well, he's right. It's undebunkable.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Yeah.
How to debunk something that doesn't make any sense?
Because there's nothing that makes sense at all.
Yeah, where do you go?
You can't debunk something that has no sense in it whatsoever.
Here it is, tucked in. And inside the Milky Way, it looks more like, you know, a crocodile head, doesn't it? I'm not.
Pareidolia at its best, I'd say.
No, yeah, I know.
Okay. I see a duck.
You sure it's not Aristarchus?
You always see a bloody duck.
I'll see a duck and see a crocodile.
Terry, you've got a duck fixation.
No artist. Freshwater crocodile. It's tucked in there like that. Now, so you can imagine all the planets and sun, moon moving around the sun. In the middle, the sun is not in the middle. See, not exactly in the middle.
Well,
It's
you just draw it
offset.
that way, you dirt.
There's the centre.
Yeah.
So looking down on it,
Oh, now we're going to try to do top
we
view.
have the egg shape.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
There's the spin that comes all the way back
Avocado.
down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. 'Cause there's the spin that comes all the way back down here. and there's the sun off to
Oh,
the
that's dark
side.
eye Riley. Is that an egg?
Because it's this reverse spin that creates the voltage and gives us the sun.
The
It's
reverse
always-
spin creates the voltage
Wait.
and gives us the sun.
No, he said voltage.
That's what I said. He said the reverse spin gives causes the voltage to give us the sun.
Right. No.
There, which will stay there. No matter how much this flows up, the voltage will always stay there because you build up the pressure. Boom. It'll always
Pressure
sit
of
there.
what?
Boom.
Pressure of what? What matter is building up? He just says pressure of something, but he doesn't say what the matter is or anything.
Well, Terry, don't you get it? Boom.
I was going to say, I think so far all we kind of know is that north is the centre of his flat area, and other than that, weirdness.
Yeah, but we're looking side onto it.
Yeah, but this still doesn't help us with where the sun is over his flat area, or even where the sun appears to be over his flat area. And I thought that's what he was supposed to be telling us.
It's there, written on the board.
Yeah, but I got the yeah, but there's no scale, is there?
Mm.
This is the problem. There's no scale. And what happens if you go to the North Pole? What happens if you stand on the geographic North Pole?
Well, I don't think he's actually drawing the planet. I think he's trying to draw the solar system, more or less, not so much the actual planet.
Because there's no scale as to how big any of that is.
Yeah, where's the planet?
Is that the whole
That's-
that the whole?
That's the universe.
Diameter of the flood?
That's his universe where he's pointing to.
Well, he talks of the Milky Way, but like
No, Milky Way's
it
over
seems to be
there.
wedged into. It seems to be wedged into a really tiny space, right in the very North Pole,
Ah.
and I don't think the Milky Way is squished in a very tight space over the Milky Way, running vertically up from the North Pole.
He hasn't said how far away the Milky Way is either.
This will drive up and then come back down and then start again. It's the cycle of time. Great precession, great year, whatever. So it's
Whatever.
like that, right? And so here we have it. There's the ecliptic, and these are the seasons. This is what they call perihelion. And this is aphelion. Probably not pronouncing it right.
No.
But because everything turns in this system,
And you're not writing it correctly either.
not all exactly at the same time, but when it comes to this, it's close enough. It'll turn with the sun, basically. So we have the eye offset. So as the seasons
Oh, it
go
was a
on,
Saurus.
we have perihelion down here. And this turning in the vortex, it starts going up. And there you have aphelion, perihelion. What are we getting here? Halfway up, the equinox.
No, we're
Aphelion.
not.
What do we get
It's
here?
not what perihelion and
Not the equinox,
No.
because the eye's offset. We only get the equinox on one side. At one point, we only have the equinox once. We'll get 2 seasons, 2 springs. I mean, a northern and a summer spring.
2 springs.
But the sun's offset, so we only get the one equinox.
Does he not know when perihelion is for the North Pole?
Well,
Sorry.
obviously he doesn't. He doesn't, Alan, because he thinks there's only one equinox. I mean, observably, we have two, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
And two
Yeah.
springs.
Yeah. And
I think
and if I remember correctly, perihelion is sometime not exactly in the middle of winter, but sometime in the winter in the Northern Hemisphere. And they say it's because we move in and out that we get the seasons. So that would be that would seem to indicate that was, what's the word I'm looking for? Bollocks?
Bollocks.
Yeah, what he said.
So I've said in my previous videos, the eye must tilt, but no, it's the rotation of the elliptic coming round. And what happens? This is the south summer.
No. Oh yeah, actually it is.
South summer. And why is that? Because we're getting extra light, which stretches right out, it's facing down, it gets right out to there. This is the sun we see in the Antarctica. Because once it's up here, it says here, no sun in Antarctica. But believe it or not, this is the northern summer. Because north's up here, so it's enough for him. But here, southern summer.
Oh, so
And then you go back to my earlier videos.
I think we're going to have.
I see. Okay.
I think we're going to have
And
to
what did
start
I say
from
about
scratch
the
with
cardinal points?
I think for the way these videos are for this guy, I think we're definitely going to have to go back to scratch with him, where he first starts off his idea for this, to know where he's gone
for this boom model.
Yeah. we're gonna after this.
Not
We're
really
gonna
the cardinal
next
points we
time we're
know.
gonna have to look at him from
But
earlier on.
Down and out. Out is down. In
Up and down.
is up.
Huh? Out is down, in is up. Yeah, rub it out.
Well,
That
this
makes
again.
sense.
The vortex. So there's your elliptic. It's down. So it's projected out.
Out to
Up.
where?
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Up is
broken
in.
it.
Down. Down is out.
He's broken it.
Up. Up is in.
Up puts. Well, up. Yeah, up's fine because it
Well,
points
yeah.
up.
Well, the
near
sun
the-
will be in. Sun's in. Maybe that's how it works.
I'll just draw
Sun's
anything
out,
on
offset,
there.
remember?
Makes
It's
much sense.
out there.
No matter what you do.
So the sun's offset is on this side. It's down there.
Because
Just like we get the,
his dome is effectively a torus. Yeah, he can reflect it off. If it points out and it gets reflected off the dome, it gets pointing it down, reflects it off the outside edge of the dome. Pointing it up reflects it off the near. Brings it inside the dome to a degree, and that would actually move the sun about. Yeah, you could move. That would move the sun backwards and forwards across the equator. Ish. Well, no, it wouldn't, because no. Forget that.
I'm just completely lost of what he's portraying here anyway.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
It just makes no sense whatsoever.
yeah.
no
Sorry, I was
scale,
trying to
there's
work
no
it out, and it just
There's no reference, like there's nothing. Like I understand what he's drawn in the middle with the sun and the planets going around the sun thing. That bit I can understand, but what's the two dome things way out in the solar system
Yeah, I just can't see how this explains any of our observations.
Yeah, you get the solar eclipse and stuff when the sun.
Next show, we'll go back to his first video.
When the moon comes around low like this.
Righto.
When the moon's on the low side in front of the sun, that's when you get your solar eclipses too.
I don't mean it'll make sense, but we may be able to figure out where he's...
So there we have these seasons.
So we only get solar eclipses
at
one season of the year then?
No, he hadn't thought about that.
It only happens once a year. That happens once a year. This happens only once a year. Then we get the equinox. Then we get the spring. Autumn. And this model here. Anybody ever looked into celestial navigation? I've only just spotted it on YouTube. Thanks to one of the scientists on my subscribe to my channel, ones who like to argue with me, trying to poo-poo.
I wonder if there's any scientists that we know of.
I'd find it extremely difficult to argue with him because, like, what do you actually argue against?
There's too many questions. Like, where's... Yeah.
Poo everything. He brought it up, so I thought I'd look into it.
Yeah.
And what have they got? This same system. They call this the spider web. The magnetic fields, 11-degree arcs. This is what's rotating our stars. All this stuff here. And then they had several, charts for out south.
Is he depicting something that he's trying to...
He's just making it up as he goes along.
Look it up. Go, plenty of movies on YouTube.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah. At least it's fun when he does the diagram and realizes that what he wants to say doesn't actually work on the diagram.
Right. I had other things to talk about. Now I've forgotten. Typical. Just think for a minute.
I doubt whether he's ever done that in his life.
South summer. That's why we get the sun.
I think
the sun right out here.
Out where?
So you must still get you'll get the night.
But the sun still has to
moves
be
in here.
Inside
sun,
the
obviously over the top. And because it's all projected from here, it just still turns right around the whole flat earth, doesn't it? Everything's from there.
The image of assuming it's a reflection, even the reflection still has to be physically directly above some point on Earth between the two tropics all the time. So why is he saying the sun's right out on the edge?
Miro has a good point. He says, I wonder if it could repeat all that next week and if it would look or be the same.
Probably not, yeah.
Nope.
You cannot debunk this design. Everything works. Everything in here on this stem creates this. Everything down in there creates the Polaris rotation. Don't forget, in the next week, Isis gives birth spiritually to a man on earth. Orion's belt's passing through the two rotations. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Maybe not so much the 6th, well, probably still there. And maybe the 12th, well, to the two endpoints. Passing through at your zenith. We're at the tangent point between the north and the southern rotation. Right there.
Do you know what that tangent
All
point is
esoteric.
called, you numpty? It's called the equator.
Yeah, in between the northern and southern rotation point.
Stuff. You see ancient depictions of all sorts of stuff, and it's all referring to that.
Yeah. Yeah, rub it all out. Start again.
I
He explained
brother.
to his mates.
It all makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Cradle passing over the manger, the Milky Way being the manger, a long trough,
hell?
egg in a nest. It's tucked in there like an egg in a nest. What other
How many
stories came with it?
subscribers has this Looney Tune got?
308.
It's one eye, representing a third
309
eye.
now that you subscribed.
Yeah.
Physical
Well,
world down here, we
I
have
think he
two
needs
As
help.
long
eyes.
as he doesn't,
he needs
as long
help.
as he doesn't make,
He needs help.
as long as he doesn't make 334. Sorry, as long as he doesn't make 334 subscribers, I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
I would,
Why?
I
Because
would-
he'd be more than you.
I would hate him to have more than 334 subscribers. Because yeah, then he'd have more than me.
Conversations over the dinner table must be fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm looking for a
I
wedding ring.
I see we have a Wally in the side chat.
Hey, Wally.
I wonder what time his medications nurse comes around.
That's probably what he keeps looking up for. He keeps looking at the time.
Yeah.
But they do not see. Not until this one wakes up. It
Now do a
takes
smiley
light from
face,
there,
mouth at the
takes
bottom, mate.
energy from these two.
God, now we're at a third
Wake
eye.
that one up. Just like the moon takes
Has he got?
energy from the
Has he
sun
got a washing machine or a dryer or something running in that
each
room?
month.
If you want to come in, Wally, you know
Chris-
where the key in the special place is.
Sounds like he's in the
It's
loo or
all
something.
related
Every
to
time you
nature,
play
and
that
everything the
video, I
Egyptians
hear a
have left.
whoa, 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 whoa noise in the background.
No, I can't hear it.
Us. The boat.
Yeah, I can barely
The
hear
solar
it
boat.
humming in the
See?
background.
Probably air
Stuck in
conditioner or
there.
a fan in the ceiling.
See the solar boat? Egyptian mythology. Sailing across the sky,
Yeah, and
which made me. So it must. Maybe it still rocks a bit like this.
don't know. We can't help you. We can't help you.
But I've sussed everything now. I've done we know what the planet's doing, the big elliptic. Big elliptic.
I don't know where
Imagine the big
Professor Phil
elliptic.
is, Wally.
The sun's
No.
in the air.
Is he online?
You've got the
It
moon
was around
here and the
there.
other planets out here. Orion's belt way out here, so the sun's there. Orion's belt will be moving only a little bit slower than the sun. So
It'll
It's
just
lost
take a
for,
DM. It only takes a DM
you
to
know, how
find
many
out where
months?
he is.
well, every 6 months or so it shows up because it's on this side. Most of the time it's hidden. It's hidden on this side of the sun, the back side of on the sunny side during the day, and we see
Oh,
it
the sunny
when it
side
comes
of the
back
sun.
around here.
Is that the same?
Well, yeah, on a flat Earth, the sun has got to have the sun. The sun has got to have a lit side and a not lit side. If it's in the middle, because it's spinning round. It's also the something's spinning round once a day, changing where the reflection's going on the dome.
Brought me.
But wouldn't every side of the sun be a sunny side?
No.
But Paul, if you think about his model, because he's got the sun, yeah, the
As Zebulon said, I must be
emitting
stupid.
the
I don't
light.
have a clue what this bloke's on about. Really?
I don't. You're with the rest of us, Zebulon.
Yeah. Since he's essentially shining a torch on the dome for it to reflect off the dome to be the sun, yeah, that bit has got a side that is sunny and a side that is not. It's the
Okay.
reflection that everybody can
Clever.
see.
But is he talking about the nighttime sun? Because I have heard that that's different. Not the daytime sun.
Oh my god, that made me do.
Would be good if to Professor Phil, when you play Wolfie's new video. Has Wolfie got a new video out? I didn't notice.
Yes,
Wally.
he has.
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Well, somebody
Yeah. And what
DM
he-
Phil, and I'll have to DM Phil and find out what he's doing after this.
And what he's mirrored it to.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not long. It's only like a minute or something. It's really good.
Well, who's going to present it? You, Wally, or Phil? Let's get back to this nighttime sun.
Yeah, we're nearly done.
Yeah, because it's running parallel with the, with the sun. You won't see it, will you?
No, because it's
Finally
nighttime.
slows down enough, or the sun passes it. We get to see it passing through the night sky. All the planets on that elliptic, and all the background stars are just all swirling around in the vortex. And everything is projected out, all seen from a electron microscopic point of view.
What?
An electron?
An electron
I
microscopic
can't even get
point
the
of
word
view.
out, Peter Paul.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, is it electronic?
Electron microscopic.
Point of view.
Electron
But he
microscopes are
doesn't
used
even
to.
have a clue how a scanning electron microscope works.
No, and the fact that they're used to look at really small things, you wouldn't use an electron microscope to look at anything on a galactic scale.
No,
My God.
Yes, because the best SEMs do have a resolution that's enough to resolve a single atom, or at least enough to
Yeah.
resolve atoms.
Yeah, I think he just used the word because it sounded scientific.
General Newson said, "That's it. I'm broken."
Eyeballs act as like second mirrors in a telescope and just magnify everything. And it's just the resonating frequencies that create the light. Goes into our brain.
A resonating frequency. A frequency that resonates.
I'm pretty sure our eyes don't magnify anything.
I wonder if he told his wife that. Your eyes magnifying it.
So when I play the recorder, I should be producing light because it's the resonant frequency
Yes.
within the recorder.
Yeah. Light music.
Yeah.
And our five senses create reality. We're all projections.
That was a bit of a bitch.
We are
that
all
thing, yeah.
projections from this
Yeah, Kiwis have got a weird accent like that.
vortex. It's written in Christianity. Man will not accept this godly power, for it is not earthly. And no one is. But once you do,
What?
everything works. You cannot
Oh,
debunk
he's
it.
gone religious on us now, has he?
Yeah.
It's
go on,
not
try
like- it's
and
like
debunk it.
That's a Nobel Prize there. That sun, the system. Don't argue about it. It works. Sun being offset
Offset to what?
creates the two. Aphelion, the lion. See the lion? And when we see the coat of arms, you see a lion on this side and a lion on this side. It's the two lions. At each end, two lions. And
Coat of
then
arms.
right back in what is it? There's some Sumerian texts in that. You see him holding a lion. He's tamed the lion. That's equilibrium. That's the equinox. The two lions have been tamed. He's at this point here, where Orion's path comes through. I've got lots of information, but I don't write it down.
You've got lots of something. It
doesn't come out like I'd like.
It doesn't come out like I'd like.
Yeah.
I think
just get online.
I think the generally shady one needs a bit of a punishment for this.
Why? What did you do? Oh yeah, yes, shady. Yeah, but I have seen this guy before.
Yeah, I've seen this guy before too.
Yeah.
And I think John Ratt's correct. He's in the common room. The drillers and lunatics you see in the movies are all sitting behind the camera. He's in the asylum.
I've never taken much notice of it because once I seen a bit of what he did one time before on the board, I went, nah, this guy's just completely.
I think that's consistent.
But I'm getting guys.
The thing that's consistent. Sports for a moment. Yeah, the thing that's consistent about him though is the fact that he's all over the place all the time.
Yes.
He just he talks about one thing and then he just seamlessly transitions into another concept and talking about something completely different as if it's just natural to him, you know?
Maybe you should
So
try
he is
writing
consistently inconsistent then.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
No, I would have said he was inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, like 1 minute he's talking about lions and stuff like that, and next minute he's talking about planets, you know, like.
Oh, I've lost my
Yeah,
train.
he threw in a bit of pareidolia in there with the crocodile. And
Yeah.
Sunny side of the sun. That's definitely worth it.
just see what he finishes off saying.
I'd be with more than 2 or 3 questions, and then I'd have to go off to look into it, and I never get because I'll forget and then never get back. So if you ask 1 or 2 questions, I'll find the answer. It all works in that model.
But I'll make
Model?
Okay, it'll do.
That weren't a model.
Model?
It'll do.
There were no predictive powers. There's no
No explanation for anything.
no.
What's his name
Well,
again?
Lindsay.
Yeah.
Lindsay Harris.
Lindsay Harris.
Like that. Ready?
There is, yeah.
I wouldn't say the word good, Shady. You know we're all coming after you.
We're going to have something educational to remedy this.
Definitely.
Yeah. How about wood?
Well,
how about some nice wood for the?
Well, I did have the mage thing that I want to catch up on with Mr. Sensible.
Oh, yes, we have mage as well, don't we?
Yeah, I got
We need
that.
to talk about and look at.
And then we might stop for our in between derp media. If you still got any media derp this week, Paul?
Oh, it's not derp this time. It's actually some educational stuff this time. I've changed track just a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine
for today. So
That would be good.
something just a little bit different. Yeah.
Well, you own this. You own that segment, even though we don't know what to call it yet.
Yep. So what are we doing? We're doing mage first, are we? And then having a bit of a coffee break, or
how much?
Or are we having a coffee break and then mine? Or
well, I got 20. I got 20 minutes of mage, so that's a bit long, isn't it? For where are we at for time? I might leave. I'll leave mage for after because I want to show mage. I've got some wood. I've got some woody stuff to show.
You got some woody stuff there. We don't want to see your wood, Terry.
Oh, well, it's not my wood. It's somebody else's wood.
Your wood to you,
and it's very nice
wood to yourself, Terry.
It's somebody else's wood.
Let's go. It's somebody else's wood to go along with his big balls. Oh, and his small balls.
No, it's definitely somebody else's wood.
Okay.
No, I'm serious, Jenna. What was the video called, that one? I need to clip that bit out. Andy? The one we just watched, what was it called?
It was the last one published. It was the last one on that channel, which was
Eye of Seasons explained through the Eye of Horus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I got my sound settings don't look right, Al.
Seems to be working all right, though, Cherry.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
as
working
long as
all
they've
right.
been
Leave them
hearing me
alone.
out there. That's just that we're all on the same channel, which I wasn't before. I used to be on a separate channel to everyone else. In OBS, I mean.
No, you can't be. You don't have enough channel. You could not have been, Terry, because you couldn't be in the Zoom meeting with us and in a separate channel out to YouTube because you don't have enough bananas.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll do Mage and that other stuff after
Alright.
our two things. Well, we haven't called it yet. A name, middle, something.
So are we sending people to get a coffee, or are we going
Yeah,
on offline right now?
I get the feeling Paul wants to go and make a coffee. So why don't we agree that everybody goes to make a coffee?
Yeah, go make your coffees, and then we'll be back after the short intermission.
Because even
Righto.
if Terry can't take it, even if Terry can't take a hint, I can.
Yeah, I need a coffee.
I didn't say I wasn't not taking the hint.
Oh, of course, Terry now has a wireless headset, so he can walk away from the computer and make a coffee, regardless.
Yeah, that's right. You don't know where I am.
Although you really never want to do that while YouTube videos are playing.
Oh, got it.
I'll just check something. Okay, that comes through that. Pause that. That comes through there. Somebody mentioned that Professor Phil was hiding down in Gem's server. I'll go and have a sticky beak down there. Oh, Mippet's down there. Oh, Chemo's muted though, so that's...
I was terrified of her.
Oh, poor Mippet got told off by Curve yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Well, Professor Phil's open. Who else's mic's open? Gem's open. Harry, Happy Pro, Scott, somebody call, Sheepy, Tower, Was. Yeah. Well, they must be having a conversation of some sort.
Why is that not downloading, yeah, booger? Come on. Yep.
Professor Tony gave me a shout out on
Irish Demon.
Somebody's channel.
Irish Demon?
Yeah, Irish Demon's channel, that's it.
I'm going to be on a show on Friday. Anyone's interested? Steaming Cup of Reason. Mega Mirror is interviewing me. I was shitting bricks. Huge R's got over 1,000 subs now, so he's planning a special as well.
Cool.
Huge R's.
huge ass.
Huge ass. Evelyn, okay, I'm bored. Everybody take their shirts off. No, it's too cold here.
Yeah. I might quickly do that though. That's my equivalent of taking my shirt off. Scare all the children.
Oh, God.
There we go. Put that back to something safe to look at.
Oh, I missed it. I missed it. Oh, no name. Hi.
Yeah, no name slipped in here, didn't he, quietly?
Mm-hmm.
So has Terry made himself a coffee, or?
Oh, I think he's in the middle of doing so.
Okay. We normally hear him making his coffee.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, do you want to hear me making the coffee now? Do you?
No,
really.
not really.
I'm not quite sure why that equation had to be approved, John Rapp, but there you go. Does not want to download that video. Dash, try later.
Are we putting equations in the thing now?
I think that might be because gravity makes my balls come together. Any man can describe that. Okay. So I did. F equals G M1 M2 over R squared.
Oh, I've got that equation now. That's why it had to be approved, John. Okay.
Okay.
We're ready, are we?
I'm seating down now.
Okay. Oh, we've got something a bit different tonight. I'll share my screen and.
Yeah, we like different. I mean, the good type of different.
Yeah.
Things that are going to edumify us.
Edumicate us, yeah. That's right. Can you see what I've got up at the moment?
Yep.
Cool. So we're going to have a bit of a look over the next few streams about scientific progress through history. So I'm going to cover all up until about the 0 AD today. So quite a bit. And then we'll cover smaller sections as we progress. So first thing we're going to cover is the Bronze Age. So we're looking from about 3000 BC onwards. So what do you think was discovered first in about 3000 BC?
Well, going by our ancient technology series that we did earlier on.
Yep.
But this is not... What type of science are we talking about? It doesn't matter what type of science.
It encompasses all sorts of things like mathematics, biology, chemistry, physics, astronomy, everything. So remember, mathematics is a big part of science. So a lot of progress had to be made in mathematics before science itself became the scientific method that we know of nowadays. So a lot of the early history of science is mainly observational science and developments in mathematics. So the very first thing we've got here is that the first units of measurement were developed along with measuring devices such as rulers, protractors, and weighing scales. You know, so if you want to measure things, you've got to obviously figure out what you're going to measure them in, you know. So to come up with a uniformity of a measuring scale, that was a part of scientific progress. Is that fair enough?
So yes, Paul. Sorry, I just caught Irish Stew's comment out the corner of my eye. Des O'Connor's first album.
Yeah. So it's the Babylonians that developed measuring scales and measuring devices and stuff first. And then along came a number system, right? So the Egyptians were the first ones with a number system, but they didn't use a number system like ours. It was what they call a sign value number system, where they used symbols to represent certain quantities, like a line to represent a 1, it might have been a seashell to represent a 5 or something like that. And it didn't matter what order you put these symbols in. So if you had a line and 2 seashells, that was 5 plus 5 plus 1 is 11. It didn't matter whether you did line, seashell, seashell, or seashell, line, seashell, or what order you put things in. It all meant the same number because each symbol had its associated value. So for instance, in our modern day system, it's a place value system. The 4 means four of something, but it could mean 4 tens, 4 hundreds, 4 units. But in the Egyptian system, if 4 meant 4 and 5 meant 5 things, then 4, 5 would mean 9, and 5, 4 would also mean 9. That's what a sign value system is. Okay, the next thing in 2100 BC was the concept of area and volume were recognized by the Babylonians, and the first quadratic equations were solved. Okay, so they could solve quadratic equations even back in those days. Like over 4,000 years ago, they could solve quadratic equations, which is more than what the flat earthers can do now, probably.
Yes. These days, I'd struggle solving a quadratic equation as well.
Yeah, and there were simple quadratic equations related to areas, like areas of rectangles and stuff like that. Yeah. So, and then next came the Egyptians' use of similar triangles and side ratios. So they were able to use similar triangles to figure out things, and they needed these sort of things to build the pyramids. So that was a big development in mathematics. Then we come to 2000 BC, where the Pythagorean triples are first discussed. Do you know what a Pythagorean triple is? Anyone know what a Pythagorean triple is?
Are they the whole numbers side ratios of a right angle triangle, by any chance?
What's that?
Would they be the whole number values for the 3 sides of a right angle triangle? So like
yes,
3, 4, 5, or
yeah, 3, 4, 5. So like for instance, like 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. That's a Pythagorean triple, but there are other combinations of that too. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I meant the ones that are just always whole numbers.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and that allowed them to basically make a right angle, so they could construct a right angle and use it in building things. Next came along the Babylonians create multiplication tables. So they're the bastards that created the times tables for us.
Yeah,
to learn.
And they're also
everyone can thank them.
And they're also the reason why, when we're at school, we had to learn. Well, at least when I was at school back then, we had to learn up to our 12 times table, because they liked base 12, didn't they?
Yeah, we had to learn up to our 15 times table.
We used to cheat because our books had it on the back cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but also, of course, it was kind of handy because I think we used that in, there was 12 pence in a shilling, I think, if I seem to remember rightly.
Yeah.
So that was kind of useful to be able to do 12s when it came to money in the UK, up until 1972 when we went decimal.
Yeah. I mean,
because you guys beat us to that, didn't you?
Yeah, we went 67, 66.
Yeah. I barely remember it because I was only 4 years old. So, oops. Right, next one. Crude positional notation for numerals are used in Babylon. So the Babylonians at this stage are developing a place value number system where the positions of the symbols or digits actually meant something. Then we've got the periodicity of planetary movements was recognised. So they looked up in the sky a lot, and they realised that the planets actually had some sort of periodicity to their movements. There was a pattern involved in the way that the planets moved. So they were observing. Obviously, they had to observe that for a reasonable length of time to realise that there was actually a pattern involved in those movements.
And actually, you have to be watching quite seriously
regularly
regularly
that's right.
to know that the planets wander the planets wander at all.
Yeah, that's right. And apparently a lot of these astronomical discoveries were made in the Middle East because most of the travelling was done at night, because it's cooler to travel at night. And so they had plenty of time to look up in the sky and see the stars. So a lot of observations were made in those early days in the Middle East.
And of course, deserts tend not to have lots of cloud over them most of the time as well, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So then we come along to 1900 BC, and they started studying anatomy. So the Egyptians, they were the ones who identified the heart, liver, spleen, kidneys, hypothalamus, uterus, and the bladder. And they even had a crude understanding of the way the blood moved around. They knew that the blood moved from the heart around the body, but they also thought that things like urine and stuff like that also were pumped by the heart and moved around from the heart. So it was a very cardiocentric sort of anatomy that they had. And of course, they used to explore anatomy by, pulling the brains out of mummies and cutting their hearts and organs out, putting them in jars when they buried them and stuff. Then we come up to 1800 BC, where we have fractions were first studied by the Egyptians. And the Egyptians had a really strange way of doing fractions. All their fractions that they used were 1 divided by something. They would never use 3/4. To get 3/4, they would do 1/2 plus 1/4. So they would add 2 different fractions that had the numerator of 1. All their numerators had 1. And you can write any fraction as a combination of other fractions with all the numerators being 1. So any other fraction can be written like that. And it was handy in the way that they divided up things. Right.
Wally's in the house to learn now, Paul.
Okay. Yep. Numerical approximation for the square root of 2 accurate to 6 decimal places. So in 1800 BC, they had an accurate, a reasonably accurate representation of the square root of 2 to 6 decimal places, which I think is pretty amazing.
I mean, I know in the early Bronze Age, the approximation for pi was 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, they rounded it off to 3.
But of course, well, you'd have to round it off to 3 when you don't have a decimal system.
Exactly, that's right. Because with the sign value system, there's no decimal places. All they had was fractions, 1 divided by something. Yeah. Okay. All right, then we have the Babylonians used 25/8 as an approximation for pi. And that's accurate to within 0.5%.
I thought we always used 22/7, didn't we?
Yeah, but they used 25/8. So, yep, there you go. So now we come to the Iron Age. Okay, so in the Iron Age,
they invented the iron.
700 BC. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Pythagoras' theorem discovered in India. So Pythagoras' theorem was actually discovered well before Pythagoras actually discovered it.
I know you're probably going to mention this, but I don't know what time period it was. Was it an Indian mathematician put 0 in the numbers or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And that's another thing about the early number systems, is they didn't have the concept of 0. So, for instance, the early Babylonian place value system was a bit confusing and a bit ambiguous because they didn't sort of really have the use of zero yet. So in other words, 32,400 was written either with zeros on the end or maybe not with zeros on the end. So, and you couldn't tell the difference. It was a bit ambiguous. So then we come up and grammar. Grammar was first studied in India. So all the languages up until that time didn't really have a sort of system associated with the language. I guess a lot of the languages were still developing. There was no hard and fast rules like grammar to learn back in those days. Then we come up to 600 BC, where we have Thales. The Thales theorem is discovered. Then we have the musculoskeletal structure, including joints, ligaments, and muscles, is understood, and that was done by, once again, the Egyptians.
Paul, I have to ask what Thales theorem is, because I'm guessing it's mathematical. And
yeah, it is mathematical.
Maths was never my strong suit.
Yeah. I'll think about it. I can't remember exactly what Thales theorem is right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It was important, but
yeah. Closed cardiovascular system is understood. So at this time, they knew a bit more about the cardiovascular system and realised that the blood and the heart were a closed system, and that the heart pumped the blood around the body, and that the blood returned to the heart. They still didn't know about arteries and veins, but they knew that it was a closed system, and that if you broke that closed system, the blood leaked out and you died.
I know when all that sort of stuff started to come into it. The smaller the components and structures of the body didn't come in till much later, till optics were developed. So even back then.
Yeah, but even back then, like this one shows, they still had an idea. They still knew of the existence of nerves. So nerves were first identified back in 600 BC. Right, now we go to another thing on the Iron Age. Right, so we have, no, that's it. So we have 500 BC to 0 AD now. And we have the discovery of triangular numbers. Do you know what triangular numbers are?
No, I don't know, Riley. I'll have to ask Riley.
A hint, down in the bottom left-hand corner here are the triangular numbers. They're basically 1, 3, 6, because you can make triangles out of them. See down the bottom here?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they're the triangular numbers. Then we had the, that's supposed to be Hipparchus, discovers the irrational numbers. So an irrational number, do you know what an irrational number is, Terry?
I've heard of it. I've heard of rational.
It's not a number you can't reason with.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. I was thinking of something like that to say. But
we know some irrational numbers already. We've mentioned them.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Pi, square root of 2. They're both irrational numbers. They're numbers that can't be written as a fraction with whole numbers on the bottom and the top. So you can't write them as a simple fraction. The Greeks experiment with straight edge and compass constructions, and this is the sort of era of Euclid, where he starts showing how you can construct things like 30-degree angles and 60-degree angles and squares and stuff like that, using only a straight ruler, not with any measurements on it, and a compass. So using those two instruments, you can make most of the platonic solids and all sorts of other angles and constructions, parallel lines, bisectors, all of those sort of things. Antiphon discovers the method of exhaustion, a precursor to the concept of a limit, where he keeps on evaluating something over and over again, and it gets closer and closer to the value that he's looking for. So it's sort of like a precursor to calculus. Moonlight is identified as reflected sunlight by Anaxagoras. Anaxagoras. That would be how you say it, isn't it? Yeah, in 500 BC. So back in those days, 500 BC, they realised that the moonlight wasn't cold moonlight; it was moonlight. It was sunlight reflected from the moon. Then we have the earliest documented mention of spherical Earth back in 500 BC. So it's not the earliest time that they thought the Earth was spherical, but it's the earliest documented mention of a spherical Earth. Yep. And the earliest documented mention of a spherical Earth. I've got that twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to reinforce that point, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back in 400 BC, we have that the Greeks study logical negation. And from then on, it just progresses until we get the days like today where Nathan Oakley uses logical fallacies to refute everything. Yeah. Language is formalized with Sanskrit grammar. So now they start actually putting rules into how you actually use the language. So their students have to learn grammar now. Distinction between countable and uncountable infinity is made back in 400 BC. So they realized...
Really that early?
Yep, that was that early. Yep. So they realized that there were different kinds of infinity way back then.
I thought there was only one kind.
Oh no, there's more.
There's
one
lots
kind
of
of
them.
infinity. Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't even stop at 2.
Yeah, that's right. And Theaetetus shows square roots are either integer or irrational, and also enumerates the Platonic solids. So the Platonic solids are those things that, like for instance, a cube is a Platonic solid. You can see them down in the bottom right-hand corner here. These are what you call the Platonic solids, in that each side, each face has the same shape, and all of the lines are equal lengths. Okay, they're the Platonic solids. Then we come up to 400 BC again, and we've got Menachmus discovers conic sections. Conic sections are the shapes up on the top here. You can see that you've got, if you have a cone and you take a slice through it, you get different things. If you take a horizontal slice through the cone, you get a circle. If you take one on a slight angle, you get an ellipse. If you take one on more of an angle that cuts through the base, you get a parabola, right? And if you cut one down vertically, you get a hyperbola. Mosey in China gives a description of the camera obscura phenomenon. That's, you can see up in the top. A camera obscura up in the top right-hand corner there.
Yes, we have looked into that in depth.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say the latest archaeological paleontological evidence suggests that the camera obscura effect was known in the at least by the Paleolithic era, if not the Middle Stone Age.
Yeah. Wow.
Based off of how some of the cave art survived.
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah.
They're fairly certain that small holes in tents and things would have projected images across, and that this would have given them an indication of how to draw correctly the or how to draw the animals that they often drew. So an indication that the camera obscura, although obviously not given a description until this date, was known for about 20,000 years ago.
Yeah, wow. Okay, then we have Empedocles describes thermal expansion. So he realized that things get bigger when they get hot.
Wonder how he found that out practically.
Don't know. Empirical system of anatomy is founded based on animal dissection, and Praxagoras distinguishes between arteries and veins. So now they've got a little bit more of an understanding of human anatomy, because they're actually starting to cut creatures open and systematically look at what's inside them.
You know, we really ought to get Pip to help with these Greek names.
Yeah, we should, shouldn't we? Yeah. I know how to say this one. Aristotle. Aristotle distinguishes between Aristotle distinguishes between near and farsightedness. So he knew the distinction between near and farsightedness.
Close.
This is close.
Far
and
away.
This is far away.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy
Oh, okay.
establishes
that guy.
establishes the field of economics, the science of wealth.
Oh.
So he actually started the first economics class.
But was he wealthy?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. Panini develops full-fledged formal grammar for Sanskrit. So now they've got pretty strict rules for how to write sentences and structure sentences and stuff in Sanskrit. Now we come to more 500 BC to 0 AD. We're at 300 BC now. So we've got Euclid describes a primitive form of formal proof and axiomatic systems. So he's starting to develop the mathematics that he needs to write his Euclid elements. We get Pingala in India studies binary numbers. Now this Pingala in India, he features quite a lot. He was a very clever person and discovered quite a lot of things. He was quite an advanced mathematician. Finite geometric progressions was studied by Euclid. Things like a half plus a quarter plus an eighth plus a 16th, etc. I think the famous one was the one about the man running to the finish line, where he goes halfway and then he's got half remaining, but he goes halfway of that remaining distance and he always goes halfway. So by that reasoning, they thought that he would never get there because he'd always have halfway to go, left to go. But of course, we know that's not true at the moment, because the sum to infinity of all that is you actually get there. Okay. What else we got? Archimedes relates problems in geometric series to those in arithmetic series, foreshadowing the logarithm. So he was basically the person who came up with the precursor to the logarithmic scale. Pingala again in India describes the Fibonacci sequence well before Fibonacci actually got his name put to it. Yeah.
That's that square shape thing with the spiral that runs through different squares.
Yeah, do you know what the Fibonacci sequence is?
Yeah, it's those squares shapes with the circle.
No,
line
it's a sequence of numbers, Terry. A sequence of numbers. Like, say if you have like 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Can you see how that goes? Because 1 plus 1 is 2, right? Mm-hmm. And then you always add up the previous two numbers to get the next number. And that's what a Fibonacci sequence is.
Oh, okay.
Euclid proves the infinitude of prime numbers. He was the first one to provide an actual proof that there's an infinite number of prime numbers. And he did this by saying that, well, if we take one prime number and we look at all of its factors, so if we can multiply all of those factors together and then add 1, that gives a new prime number. So we can always create a new, bigger prime number by multiplying the factors of the biggest prime number we know and adding 1. And that will always be a new prime number. And you can go on infinitely like that. So there's an infinite number of prime numbers. Then we have Euclid develops the Euclidean algorithm for finding the greatest common denominator of two integers. So they're starting to get quite advanced in mathematics now. Pingala in India discovers the binomial coefficients, Pascal's triangle. All right, so Pascal's triangle, I don't think I put an actual, no, I didn't put a picture of that on here. I was going to, but I didn't. Pascal's triangle is that one where you have a 1 at the top, and then you have 2 1s below that on either side. And then beside that, you have a 1 on the edge, and then you have a 2 in between the 2 ones in the middle, and then another 1. And what you do is you always, the number below is always the 2 numbers above it added together. And it's very important in the binomial theorem for expanding things. Eratosthenes discovers the sieve of Eratosthenes, and the sieve of Eratosthenes is a method for finding all the prime numbers up to a certain number. Basically, what you do is, if you want to find all the prime numbers up to 100, you basically go through your times tables, right? So you go through your 2 times tables and you cross off 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then you go through your 3 times tables and you cross off 3, 6, 9, 12. Some of those numbers will have already been crossed off. And you keep on doing that until you get up to the number that you wanting to, until you can't cross off any more numbers. And the numbers that are left after you do that will all be prime numbers. All right, Euclid publishes the Elements. So he's done a lot of his research and a lot of his development, and he now publishes his great volume of thing called the Elements. And thousands of years later, you have a person called who? That wants to use Euclid's Elements all the time.
Oh, yes.
Horizontal is level.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Archimedes develops the formula for the volume of a sphere. So he can now calculate the volume of a sphere. Archimedes calculates areas and volumes of conic sections, and he actually could calculate areas of volumes of revolution and stuff like that as well. Like he could calculate the area between a parabola and a straight line. Archimedes makes use of infinitesimals. Do you know what an infinitesimal is, Terry?
Something that's small.
Yeah, it's a really, really small number. Okay, and by adding up really, really small numbers, you can get an accurate area or a volume. Archimedes develops an early description of integration. So he didn't invent calculus, but he came close because he could calculate areas under things. So he kind of had an idea of what it was going to be like, but he didn't quite develop the full mathematics like Newton did. Eratosthenes measures the circumference of the Earth in around about 300 BC.
Oh, the stick guy.
So, yeah, the stick guy. That's right. So he did a lot of things. He didn't just measure the circumference of the Earth. He did a lot of other stuff in mathematics too. He was a pretty clever guy.
Mm.
And then we have Archimedes calculates tangents to non-trigonometric curves. And again, Archimedes developed the field of statics by introducing notions such as centre of gravity, mechanical equilibrium, levers, and hydrostatics. So at this point, they're already more advanced than flat earthers.
Far more.
Yeah, far more. Yeah. Euclid introduces the field of geometric optics. So he was starting to explore things like perspective and the inverse square law and stuff like that. Aristarchus proposes a basic heliocentric model of the universe. So way back then, they actually had an idea. They had proposed a heliocentric model of the universe. And it wasn't a heliocentric model of the solar system, but the universe was a heliocentric model. Okay. Then we come along to 200 BC, and we have a guy named Apollonius of Persia assigns equations to curves. So now they've actually got mathematical equations that describe curves. And the same guy develops a thing called epicycles. You know what epicycles are?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Epicycles were those things that were supposed to describe the motions of the planets. And you can see down the bottom here in the bottom left-hand corner, That's the model of the epicycles, and you can see how damned complicated it is. You know, it's extraordinarily complex, and it got so complex that they couldn't actually describe everything with it.
But Paul, it kind of does describe the actual motions of the planets, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that we
to a point
that we see.
Yeah,
I mean,
to a point. Yeah.
From our point. I should say it explains the motions of the planets from our point of view.
Yeah, up to a certain point. Like once you start putting in finer detail and more accurate observations, it doesn't. But it did have important applications. It actually led to the development of a thing called Fourier series. So it was an important step in mathematics. Then we have Hipparchus discovers the precession of the moon's orbit. So they're taking accurate enough measurements and observations now to realise that the moon's orbit actually precesses. And he also discovers the actual precession of the Earth, that the North Star isn't always the North Star. They realised that back in those days. Then we have magic squares appear in China. These are the first examples of vector space because they're written like vectors. They have rows and columns. Okay, so first sort of example of vectors. Then we have Zhang Kang in China develops Gaussian elimination as a means of solving linear equations. That's where it's kind of like simultaneous equations where you eliminate one variable at a time. Well, you can do it in a matrix sort of way by using certain row and column operations to find the solution. And he actually developed that theory. So he was a pretty clever guy. And that leads us up, and I think that is about all I've got for that time period.
Wow.
So the next time I'll do, sort of like maybe from about 0 to about 500 AD and see what I can come up with then. So that's all I've got for tonight. I hope you enjoyed that and learned something.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Good.
It did indeed. I always try to learn a trick with like the stick guy and other people too, but I've got to learn. I know it's the only way I can remember, but the other ones
you sort of got to realise that the stick guy, like Eratosthenes, he was more than just the stick guy. He actually developed a lot of mathematics, and it was he developed a lot of other things, not just measured the circumference of the Earth. It's not as if he sort of went out and his only claim to fame was measuring the circumference of the Earth. He did a lot more stuff that he's recognised for. And the same with Archimedes. It's not just Archimedes' principle. There's a lot of other stuff that Archimedes did as well. And same with Euclid. It's not just his geometry. It was other stuff as well that he did. A lot of these guys are famous for more than just what we remember them for.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised that so much mathematical stuff was done. Was able to be done without the concept of zero.
Yeah. Yep.
And without and even apparently without decimal notation.
Yep.
You can imagine what language would be like if we didn't have grammar. That'd be terrible.
And it was actually one of the Pythagoreans. You know what the Pythagoreans were? The Pythagoreans were like a cult.
Yeah.
They were like a society that treasured the pureness of mathematics, the exactness and the pureness of numbers working out. And it was one of the Pythagoreans that actually discovered irrational numbers. And they weren't too keen on him because irrational numbers weren't very pure. They kind of like, you couldn't define them exactly at all. And so it's sort of like, they didn't like that. And I think they actually excommunicated him from their society because he came up with this proposal that not all numbers were exact.
Yeah, it's for a cult like that. Yeah, irrational numbers would be somewhat of a heresy.
Yeah.
Especially if the Indians bring in the number 0 into it, that would have really thrown a spanner in the works of them.
Yeah, but that wasn't till much later. I mean, I don't think Paul's going to get to 0 even next time. We're going to 500 AD.
Yeah.
You've got to go a fair bit further than that to get 0.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have we got any questions for tonight, Pip?
Yes, indeedy.
Yes, indeedy, deedy.
Another Australian quiz.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
I wasn't prepared.
with a very, very special question for the last one.
I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, we ready?
I don't know. Anyone else not ready? You ready, Peanuts?
Alan's got to make sure he's going to be angry typing into the right text box.
Well, Wally had to get something out of the oven again. He's a bit of a baker, this Wally. What did he bake this time? Where is it?
Cookies.
Cookies in the oven. Cookies out in the oven.
Yeah.
I hope he's done enough for everybody.
You better have. He's missing
I hope he hasn't put a bun in the oven.
Don't.
Mrs. Wally might get a shock.
Yeah.
Well, he said he's taking things out of the oven, so.
Two of my children are going to become parents again soon. Enough of that talk.
I noticed Matt was out in the peanut gallery earlier. I don't know where he is at the moment.
Still there, as far as I know.
He's lurking out there.
John Rapp, that could be an answer. You never know. I did like the Peanuts. It was an Australian quiz, so they could all study.
Oh yeah, and set your playback speed to ×2 to try and help get it kept up with.
Oh, Florida saying stream broke.
I don't know. Is it alright on mine? It's alright here.
Says it's okay in YouTube.
Yeah, it's you, I guess, Florida.
Terry, you have an excellent connection into my channel.
Oh, good.
John Stock says the dingo did it. Okay.
The dingo did it.
Eat your baby.
Everyone blames the dingo.
Dingo and baby. Okay, here we go. Question 1. In Australian rules football, what is the nickname of Collingwood?
Oh, you got to be kidding.
Even I knew that one. I knew that one from watching I'm a Celeb to Get Me Out Here, Australia.
I wouldn't have the froggest idea because I don't follow that stuff.
Well, you missed 3 letters off the beginning, but you can have it.
But they have nicknames.
Yeah, that's one. Okay, I guess that's what they're called. John Rapp and Paul. Well done.
Okay.
Pies are magpies.
Okay.
Which is the largest Australian state in terms of area?
Oh. No, wrong text.
Come on, you can do it. You can make it shorter than that, Terry.
Well, just the okay.
Yeah, John Rapp.
Oh well.
John Rapp, Paul and Terry. Western Australia is correct.
At least
WA is.
At least I typed the wrong answer into the box then. Typed the wrong answer into the wrong box.
Zeblon said Texas. Yeah, okay, Zeblon. Wrong continent.
Yeah.
What is the capital of Queensland?
I can hear somebody typing.
That's Alan, I think. Just slow though. 1, 2, 3, correct in here.
Just waiting for the peanuts to catch up.
With an extra N in it.
or a closing square brace to finish it off
Yeah.
with.
Oh, Brainery.
Taz was first out there.
You're not
Brisbane
an honorary
is
Aussie then, Brainery.
Brisbane. After whom was Melbourne named?
I do.
No. That was up in...
I don't think so. I don't think so, Terry. I think she was born well after it had that name.
I don't know. I just put it there.
Just blinked off the answer there, I forgot. Oh, nobody get... No, okay. The then British Prime Minister William Lamb, the second Viscount Melbourne. There you go.
There you go.
See, I'm not a Victorian. I wouldn't have known that.
Well, I am, and I still didn't know.
Oh, okay.
What is the highest mountain in mainland Australia?
Trying to spell it right. Oh, yeah, I forgot that letter. And that letter. Good on you, Alan.
Got to try and bloody say it. Technically, Uluru's not a mountain, Brainery, but good try. Pads was first, yeah, well done. And everyone in here got it.
Who got the spelling right there?
Kosiuszko. Kosciuszko.
Yeah, I did it without the Z.
I
Kosciuszko.
don't know if that's how you say it. Right, that's cricket. No, ba-dum. Constructed especially for the World Expo in 1988. Which prominent construction is a feature of the Brisbane skyline?
Brisbane skyline? Oh. I don't know if that's what it is, but it could be. I'm thinking it's this, but I don't know what it's called.
Ramsay Street. No. Not the Sydney.
Oh, the Sydney Opera House was built in Brisbane.
Brainery, Brisbane. No, nobody's going to get it. It's the Sky Needle.
Ah, okay.
There you go. The Beehive Corner is a landmark in which city centre?
Beehive Corner?
It's Zebulon.
Yes, most definitely Z. Still haven't got a clue. Still haven't got an idea about the.
I know you like, but I speak proper English. Nobody going to guess?
No.
Okay, it was
no idea.
Adelaide.
Okay.
The Eastern Highlands are also known as what? Zebulon Z's dead. Brainery, neither do I. I'm just reading them.
No, I don't think.
Yeah, the Australians don't know them.
No, even we don't even know.
Okay, nobody's going to guess. I will tell you then. It's called the Great Dividing Range.
Ah,
that's what I wrote.
That's what you.
Oh, you wrote it, so you did. Well done. And Had's just come in there as well. Okay, you can have it.
Yeah,
Need to wait
Had's
a
got
bit
it
longer.
too.
Which road runs from Darwin in the north to Port Augusta in the south?
Which road?
Yeah.
Oh. Road. I know what train runs it, but I don't know what.
Yeah, a long one.
That U is supposed to be a Y, not a.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I could give you a clue, but it would make no sense unless you really know me very well. It's my little brother's name. And also a different spelling from someone in the side chat. There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, how do you know my little brother's name? It's the Stuart Highway. Well done. Terry.
Because it rung a bell when you said a name like that. And I thought, okay, yeah.
And Hads. Well done. Stuart Highway. Australian Julian Assange, founder of WikiLeaks, was born where? No, but it's started as Z.
Australia.
Which region? Someone out there. I don't know if he's still here. Someone out there comes from there. Which region? So if that's in it, you're technically correct, Hans, but I don't know what region that's in. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Queensland. He was born in Queensland.
Well, Brisbane is in Queensland, so I guess Hads gets that then.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where Brisbane was. Which natural arch formation in the Port Campbell National Park takes its name from a British city? I've got an answer in here, which is correct. No, another different city.
So is it falling down?
There you go, John Rapp. Well done. And Paul. London Arch, but London Bridge will do. London was the answer I wanted. Well done. Where is the Kakadu National Park? God, I clicked off the answer again. In Kakadu.
I think I might have got that one wrong.
Yeah. Yes, it's in Australia, Zebulon. Well done. John Rapp's got it. Nobody in here got it. Northern Territory.
Northern Territory. Okay.
What is competed for at Morfettville Racecourse on the second Monday in March? Yeah, what? What is competed for? Isn't that yachting or something? Oh, no, it's not. But no, not that one.
Zevlon sensor.
Bogan races. Oh, nobody's gonna get it. It's the Adelaide Cup.
Oh, the Adelaide Cup. Okay.
Oh God, cricket. We don't want that.
No.
No. What physically separates Tasmania from the mainland?
I think it's called something else. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, water. That's correct. Yep, Hads and Paul and Terry. The Bass Strait. Which food product rich in vitamin B did Cyril Callister develop?
Yeah, I didn't think it was a... Yeah. It's only that or something else.
Yep. Paul, Terry, and John Rapp. Vegemite.
It's still not as nice as Marmite, though.
Well, I don't
It's much better.
Yeah, much better than Marmite. Blech.
Okay, you're
Marmite,
definitely
Marmite.
even I would have got this one. Name the square-shaped sponge cake coated in a layer of chocolate and coconut.
Oh, I love them. I love them. You can buy little ones in a packet down the shop that I like little fingers
They don't get them all.
shaped ones.
Don't get them all. But I imagine they'll be very nice.
They are yummy.
Cake dipped in chocolate, it's got to be nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Although you're Scottish, wouldn't you have them deep fried?
No. No.
Sorry, I had to go there.
Had to go there, yeah, I'm just taking it.
It was compulsory.
John Rapp, Lamington. Yes, Terry and Paul, of course. Lamingtons. What was the name of Australia's first Prime Minister?
Oh. Do you know that one, Paul?
It's on the tip of my tongue. Jeez.
First one. I don't know if it was...
Okay, you want his initials? Will that help? EB.
Yeah.
EB?
EB.
EB.
No.
EB. The same first name of the first person to climb Everest? I can't give you a clue for the same.
Well,
No, that's
Norgay.
That don't help.
Oh, okay, Englishman.
He wasn't English. He was a New Zealander.
However. Him that went with Shepherd Tenzing.
John.
You do that. John Rapp got it. Well done. Edmund Barton.
Yeah. That's the name on the tip of your tongue, Paul.
Yeah.
The Indian Pacific Rail Service travels between which two cities?
Oh, I thought it only went from there to there. It goes from there to there.
There's a clue in the name, Terry. Indian and Pacific.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I want to change the answer.
You got one right, John Rat.
And there aren't too many cities. There aren't too many big cities on the Indian Ocean coast, are there?
No.
No, there's not. No.
Not on West Coast.
Oh, just getting out there. It was indeed Sydney and Perth.
What they got Perth.
And Alan. Yeah, they got one right. I said. Don't know.
They got Perth.
Okay, what is a quandong?
Quandong? Never heard of it.
Quandong. Quandong.
No, never heard of it.
The seeds of them make good Chinese checkers pieces.
All right. I've
Yeah.
never heard of it.
Yep.
Oh, says John. Quandong. Come on. Left brain.
No, it wouldn't be dense enough. Wouldn't be dense
They actually
enough.
look a bit like they look a bit like a flair brain. Seeds.
John, it probably is bush tucker, but I need to know specifically what it is. It grows on one of those, John Rat and Dee. No, can't wait any longer. Paul got it. It's a fruit. It's a fruit. Second last one, and then we'll get to the really good one. Who composed the ballad Waltzing Matilda? And it wasn't Rolf Harris.
I wasn't going to write that.
I would have.
I have no idea, but this is my guess.
Yeah.
You are just copying my answer because you know I'm right.
No, I didn't even see your answer.
Both correct anyway. Well done.
Yeah.
Yep, well done, John Rat. Banjo Patterson. And the last question. If I can find it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a Christmas question. In Australia's version of the song Jingle Bells, what mode of transportation is used instead of a one-horse open sleigh?
Ah. I don't know. I'm only thinking it was that.
Oh, I missed the O.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, we're both on the same track.
Yeah, it was one specific word though. You missed it completely, Terry.
What, Paul did or I did?
You did.
Oh.
It's not just any old.
No, it needs to be more
one of
It's
them.
specific.
not
than that.
any old one. Okay, it had to be a specific
Yeah.
one. Well, I don't
Oh,
like
that's
rust.
a
I don't
different
like
one,
them.
yes,
I don't
yeah.
like them when they're with the R word. See.
Yeah, I'll give it to John. I think John Stock got it. And Paul in here got it. A rusty Holden Ute.
No,
Yep.
they don't rust.
Says the man who's constantly trying to fix rust on his Holden.
Yeah.
No, I'm not fixing the rust. I'm just getting rid of what's there.
Is that not by chance the absolute definition of fixing rust?
But it's not rusting. It's rusted. It's already rusted. So it's past tense.
That's me. All done. I just picked that because I had a Holden in it and I thought you might have got it. But there you go.
No, that's good. Even I don't even. Us Aussies didn't even know most of them questions.
Ah, thanks, John. So Terry, you got the choice. It's either going to rust or it's going to fall apart before it can rust. Which is it going to be?
You got a heap of these questions, Pip, or are you limited?
No, I've got a few
And
fine hundreds on there.
And what I'm sharing right now, they are the
Is that the
seeds from the Kwandong fruit, and you can see why you could call them flirt brains. And they make good Chinese checkers pieces because they're fairly uniform and round. And they've got an unusual texture.
All right.
You only get one Chinese checker out of each one, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Declan's asking what's that. I don't know whether he's asking. Oh, about the ute. It's a pickup truck.
What is that? A utility vehicle? Yeah.
Australians shorten everything.
Yeah.
And we invented
Banana.
the first utility vehicle.
Yeah.
It's an old-
Basically, you turn a car into a pickup truck.
But it's all in one.
Well, it's not really a pickup truck. You know?
No, because the pickup truck's got a separate chassis to the back bit. The ute's all in one. It's all in one body. Uniform in shape, in body. Like Fords don't even know how to make a ute, but Holden did.
Yeah, but you have to remember the P100 was the only ute that you've ever been out and buy in the UK, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, that's a ute. Well, that's
Yeah,
a ute.
ute.
That's
No,
a ute.
I
That's
thought
a
ute.
V.
That's a ute.
VE, a
Oh, it's got-
VQ, a VE,
That's a
VF.
posh
Yeah.
one. It's got a cover and everything.
Yeah, that's what they're like.
Basically, it's a car with the back seat missing.
Yeah, you can get dual cab ones too.
It's
Yeah.
it's a two-door estate car with the back of the roof cut
Yeah.
off.
Oh, thanks for that, Pip. That was great.
Yeah.
We'll have to brush up on our history, I reckon. We're gonna...
I won't do any more Australian ones. It was
yeah.
too difficult.
Well, this
Yeah, I
got-
mean, why would you study the history of a fictitious continent?
It
Oh.
speaks.
Where you been, No Name? You've been just lurking and you haven't been playing.
Well, I meant to get in earlier, but I got busy at work, and then when I got home, I was so gross that I just decided to hop right in the shower. So now I'm all squeaky clean for your entertainment here.
Oh, okie dokie. That's great. You're not working tomorrow night, are you? You work. This is your Saturday night, isn't it? Or your Friday morning?
Yeah, it's
Right, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
it's my Saturday morning, but it's my Friday night.
Yeah.
No, I'm off for 3 days. I'm excited.
Wow.
Apparently, Neil deGrasse Tyson has had some comment on flat Earth and science deniers one day ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson was on the Jordan Harbinger show, episode 327, and apparently he said something about flat earthers and science deniers. I'll watch that later. Yeah.
If you can get the text, if we could get the text for it, because we wouldn't be able to play it. Or the
Yeah.
Can we play the sound?
Not sure.
I mean,
It
if
goes
we
for
just,
an hour and 15 minutes, though, Terry.
Oh, okay.
if we just, if we would need to find the specific bit about Mr. Tyson. Oh, sorry, Dr. Tyson, talking about the flat earthers and science deniers. Clip that out and then talk about it as we listen to it.
Mm. Okay.
Because that would be editorial fair use.
Yeah.
Family Feud. My hot date thinks the earth is flat.
Somebody said something about a Scottish quiz.
Yeah, hard said a Scottish quiz.
I got no idea. That'd be completely out of my realm, that one.
Not necessarily. We invented a lot of shit, you know.
Yeah. Was there any other videos? You haven't got a video, Pip? But not till 2
No,
p.m.
premiering at 2 o'clock.
Well, I'm not waiting around until
Sorry.
another hour and another hour. Well, if we stretched it for another hour, it probably would be.
No, I want the views, not you.
I'm not worried about views. Who's worried about views?
Flipping heck, apparently I've had an eBay account for 21 years.
You have?
Yeah.
Any money in it?
Oh, wow. eBay.
eBay, not...
Yeah, but you got any money? Oh, eBay, I get you. Yeah.
Not the other thing.
John Rapp Scotch Whiskey does not have an E in it.
Okay. Well, if I've got... How long does Mage go for? Mage goes for 20 minutes. I've got a quickie with wood. From Blue, that is. I'm going to play your wood, Blue.
Fell asleep.
Somebody poke Blue with a stick. Whoever hasn't been following Blue, he's been doing the mortise and tenon. I've got 3 minutes of it. I don't know if there's any sound.
Test 1, 2. Hopefully it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Well, let's see
it's working, Blue.
how this mortise and tenon joint fits.
Hey, maybe hearing his voice will wake him up.
Get that perfect fit.
Fits.
Looks pretty good. Shoulder lines are tight on both sides. You're seeing a pencil line, that's not a crack. I put a pencil line on there before I actually cut the, made the knife wall for the shoulder line cut. But that's how it should look. Sometimes we have to adjust these things just a little bit if you're not standing perfectly vertical. And this may be off just a little bit, which it may actually be leaning back away from us slightly, which would be the bottom end of the wall on this side, this far side over here. So, but it's not off by much. So there we go. Now this is the inside corner. Other piece comes out over here. But I'll be running screws through, all the way through these tenons from this outside. Or maybe from the inside. I haven't thought about that. Might just do it. Well, nah, I think I'll do it from the outside. We'll clamp everything together once I get all the tenons cut and fit it up properly. Then we'll clamp everything together, drill it, and install some number 12 wood screws to hold it together. Normally this would be a glued joint, but I want it to be able to come back apart. So I want to make the tenons fit, but not fit terribly tight, and that way we can always knock this thing back apart. Okay, 1 down, 15 to go.
I'm getting there. And he did have image. Where is it? Of that tool. Open that up. The tool that he used to shape the tenon. It's good to be able to use the old tools to, not just the machinery so much. But if Blue was there, he'd explain it, not one. Okay. What's that? What else have we got? We'll play Mage now. We'll find out what's happening with Mission Above a Globe Earth.
I'll go make a cuppa. I've seen it last night.
Okay. I've got it all ready to go.
I was fast asleep.
I don't know if I've got any others to play. Have a look. Now, Wally said something about Wolfie and Wally doing something, but I thought we played that last week.
No. Wolfie's put a new video up. It's a really, really short one, I believe.
I've got a Where's Wally
Shadow
Satellites
Satellite.
Eclipsed by a Shadow.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Wally mirrored it.
Wally mirrored it.
Yeah. So it's the exact same.
Okay. Trying to work out what it is. It only goes for a few seconds.
Yeah, it's just a shorty one.
Well, I'd say they're the satellites in the little circle.
I would indeed.
And then they go dark.
Where are they gone?
Where'd they go? They disappeared. Well, this is the same effect as what happened with me one night when Peter told me to go outside in 2 minutes to watch the ISS come over, and it got so far over and it just disappeared.
Yeah. I wonder what might cause that to happen.
I turned the lights out. Oh, that was that. Space Invaders.
Yeah, somebody turned them off.
I think everything else we've got. Oh, okay.
I think it's Mage then.
Yeah, well, Mr. Sensible did a live discussion, but that went for 2 hours.
Yeah, but I'm sure we're okay with watching the video he premiered before we did the live stream. That's got the details of what happened with Mage in it.
Yeah. Just seeing if
And
there's
I'm guessing that's not too
long. It is 20 minutes. But we're not going to have much else to play. We've been going for 3 hours now, so by the time we do this...
20 minutes will give us a half-hour break before we go and watch...
Pip. Okay then. Well, that'll work out fine. Yeah. Oh, well, we'll do this, and that'll be it for tonight. Okay. Pip back yet?
I don't know. But she said she saw it last night. So.
Okay.
I've watched it already.
Oh, you've already seen it.
And cheese.
Hello. It's now approximately 9 months since I first thought of Mage and a couple of months since I announced it to you all. Today's the day. You're going to see the flight of Mage. Before we get stuck in, I'd like to say massive thanks to everyone who has supported this project. That's donations, super chats, members, 2 very kind sponsors, and my amazing patrons. Mr. Sensible is proud that Mage, the mission above Globe Earth, has been sponsored by Bob the Science Guy and his channel, Common Sense Science. I'm also proud that Mage is sponsored by Arctic Haze and his Climate Anomaly website. With massive thanks to all my patrons, including new patrons Brian Ramsey, ex-Penguin95, Sharkwork, Stephen York, Uwe Closer, Wee Scott's Thank you all so very much. Mage is mission above Globe Earth. The idea is to send a payload under a weather balloon to a target height of 39,000 metres. Mage will have not 1, not 2, but 3 cameras on board. It's got an upward facing camera that will show the balloon, so hopefully we'll see it expand and burst. It's got a standard wide angled lens camera so we get a great view, and then the all important narrow angle camera. This is the Mage experimental camera. Because this camera only has a 90 degrees field of view, we're not going to get all that terrible distortion that you get with the wide angle cameras. Additionally, we've got 2 taut lines strung across its field of view so that you can check to see if there's any distortion. Each of the cameras has a large SD card, and additional to their onboard lithium batteries, each one has its own dedicated LiPo battery pack. We want to make sure these cameras can last the duration of the flight. Beyond the original GPS tracker, we've installed a second tracker, so we've now got 2 trackers. We do want to make sure that we can recover Mage. This is a high risk mission. And lastly, just for fun, I'm setting up some cheese for me and some cat biscuits for Arnold. We're both interested to find out what these taste like after they've been up to 39,000 metres and a temperature maybe down to -50 or -60 degrees. But enough of that, let's get back to the equipment itself. Here is one of the early test photographs taken from the narrow angle lens of Mage. You can see the strings quite clearly against both a dark background and a light background. At this point the camera wasn't securely fastened in and the settings weren't all configured, which is why the lines do not appear parallel and are at a slight angle. Here is a second and better test shot. The lines are extremely clear and once Mage reaches its maximum altitude, it's going to be very easy to compare any curve of the horizon to these straight lines, which is what Mage is all about. Now, I've had many messages of support and emails with various ideas for the Mage project. I had a particularly useful email from a guy called Andre Puelma. I hope I've said his name correct. Andre is a civil engineer from Chile and loves science, astronomy, physics, geometry, and says that he's a voracious investigator. Now, Andre ran a whole bunch of calculations and came up with this. It's a diagram which shows the curve of the horizon that you would expect with a camera with a 90-degree field of view at a height of 39 kilometres. Now, this is wonderful because once we get up there, we'll be able to overlay this image on the image from the cameras just to see how it matches up. Thank you very much for that, Andre. That's really, really useful. Appreciate it. So at this point, we're ready to go. Everything is prepped and we have a launch window of 4 days. Then we're down to looking at weather and predicted landing sites. There are all sorts of things to avoid, like the sea, motorways, airports. Any of these things can put a stop on an attempted launch. So each evening, myself and Q, my technical, high altitude experienced advisor, would get together and discuss the next day. Sunday evening for the Monday looked bad and we decided to scrub that. So we were hoping for Tuesday. Monday evening, Q said it doesn't look good for Tuesday. Tuesday I went out and had a look and this is what I found. Grey, wet, windy. No good again today. Damn. Tuesday evening, looking forward to Wednesday, we had predictions of Mage landing in the vicinity of a major conurbation and motorways. So again we had to cancel, leaving us with one more day of the launch window. Finally, on Wednesday evening, Q gave me the news that it looked good for Thursday. We decided to hook up again quickly on Thursday morning for a final check. Very early Thursday morning, Q agreed that it looked good. I popped outside and had another look myself. Well, it's Thursday today and it's looking beautiful. Not a breath of wind. Clouds with some gaps in it, so we're going to get some blue sky. Absolutely beautiful. Let's go for Mage. So finally, all these ups and downs, the nail-biting worry whether we'd be able to launch in the window or not, were over. I packed my gear, headed over to the secret launch site and met with Q. So after a couple of hours driving, we're at the secret launch site for Mage. Going to set it up on a smooth grassy area and then walk it over to the field for the launch. Q was busy configuring the GPS units, making sure the cameras were okay, and I loaded Mage. Mage has been sponsored by Bob the Science Guy and Arctic Haze. Getting it all prepped. So what we're going to do is pop in cheese triangle for me, the mission patch for the lucky winner, and for Arnold a shed load of cat biscuits. Right, we'll get the cameras in, get set up and go for launch. And then it happened. The weather changed. The wind built up. The rain started. Then the rain stopped but it stayed windy. Then the wind died down and the rain started. Q and I spent around an hour humming and hawing whether we should launch or not.
Over there.
Each time we looked ready to go, the weather changed again. It really looked as though we were going to have to scrub and find a second launch window. However, patience paid off. The wind stopped totally, the rain stopped, and we decided, let's go for it. Mage had been prepared. The cargo was on board, the cameras were on board, the GPS was set up, the units were tied together. The secondary GPS tied to Mage, Mage tied to the parachute, parachute tied to balloon, and we commenced filling it up. A standard 4-pint milk container with the correct amount of water is used as a standby weight in place of Mage, so that we know that we've got the correct amount of hydrogen to lift Mage nicely. So having beaten the weather and having Mage ready to go, we struck our first problem. The plan was that we would film me as I launched Mage and then wind back, if you like, and show the view from Mage of me launching it and then the flight up. The first problem was the filming failed. We don't know why, but it failed. So we've not got the external view of the launch. So that's a shame, but it's not the end of the world. Because as I launch it, I'm holding Mage, looking at the camera, and we would still have that view. Only we had a much more serious problem. We have no footage whatsoever from the Mage experimental camera. This is a lot more serious. All will become clear later on in this video, and you're going to find out what happened to that footage. So let's go for launch. I'll pause the video right at the start and just explain what you can see, and then we go for it. So top left corner, we've got the upward facing balloon cam. Bottom left corner, we've got a timer which will run from the moment I let go of Mage until the moment it touches the ground again. Finally, on the right hand side, we've got the altitude meter showing Mage's height in meters above sea level. Constantly during the flight, the GPS units are broadcasting their location, and this data is added to the telemetry file. On its way back down, during the last few hundred meters, Mage will drop below radio horizon and the data becomes a little erratic. Not having the Mage experimental narrow angle view, all we've got is this wide angle view. The first thing you're going to see is Mage being walked forward and released. Let's go for it.
Go Mage.
It was a really majestic sight, seeing Mage slowly lift up into the sky. Q and I stood and watched Mage as she went higher and higher until eventually, at about 500 meters, she disappeared into the lower cloud deck. I'll whiz it forward a little to that point. The crackling noise you can hear is rain. Oh yes, as we launched it started to rain again, but no matter. As Mage slipped out of sight, we started double checking the predicted landing points. The plan was to drive into the general vicinity, find somewhere for lunch, and then with the updated predicted landing point, rush to the area ready to recover Mage. Only there seemed to be a slight problem. Mage should be ascending at a rate of about 5 meters per second, but it was a little low. It wasn't quite as fast as we'd expected. This was affecting the landing. At one point, it predicted the landing right across the UK and out to sea. But then it picked up again. Now hydrogen behaves differently than helium. The prediction is not quite as accurate because it changes the amount of lift you get from it depending on the height. So at first we weren't too worried. We continued to watch it and an issue became clear. Mage was definitely not going up at the speed it should do. So Q sought some advice from other people who are experienced in high altitude ballooning. The consensus was we got a puncture, a manufacturing fault, nothing we could have done anything about or known about prior to the launch. Let's skip on forward a bit until we're coming out of the second cloud deck. Mage's ascent rate became highly variable. The question now was, how high would it go and how far? We decided that there was nothing for it but to set off and try and track it and rescue whatever we could. At about 2,450 meters, Mage went into the upper cloud deck. Let's whiz forward to see how high it got. The upper cloud deck was very, very deep. Mage continued climbing more and more slowly until it peaked at 5,287 metres before it started to slowly descend again. What we'll do is we'll jump forward because it did see something interesting on its way back down. At approximately 2,850 metres, Mage saw snow. It's not entirely unexpected, but it's not something that you see very often in a balloon video. Snow in August. Really interesting stuff. What we do now is jump right forward to the final approach to landing. Still supported by a mostly inflated balloon, Mage makes a very, very gentle landing. I'll let you enjoy that and pause it at the moment of landing. So at 1 hour, 13 minutes and 49 seconds after launch, Mage safely touches down. There's an issue though. Normally it would have landed by aid of the parachute. Today it was supported by the balloon. That balloon is still in the air. Now the weight of Mage is no longer pulling it down, that balloon is acting like a sail. Let's see what happens.
Oh no.
I think that might go until it hits some trees or a hedge or something else that'll...
He could make a fortune selling that to Hollywood, like found footage video. It's like, and the cameraman was dragged away by something off screen. Blair Witch Project kind of shit.
It's painful to watch. Mage is being dragged, bashed, banged, crashed like crazy. It's somewhere during this period that Mage loses its main experimental camera, which explains why we've got no footage. Eventually, it lifts and gets itself tangled up, awaiting myself and Q in our search for it. Mage travelled a total of just over 30 miles. When we came across it, it was a little bit of a shock.
There he is! Across the road! Oh man.
It was quite cold and raining heavily, and this is the view that greeted us.
So here's Mage. Parachute. Got a bit damaged.
You can see how Mage has been bashed about. Nearly all of the balsa framework has gone, and as we discover in a few minutes' time, so has the main camera.
And tangled up with a cable. All we got to do is find a way to get him down.
Because Mage is floating and strung across the road, we decide that the wisest thing is to call the police. We're going to need a road closure to get this down. Unfortunately, midway through the call, the balloon provides less and less lift, and Mage is getting closer and closer to the traffic. We decide that there's only one thing for it. I stick on a high-vis jacket and stop the traffic, while Q gets Mage down. With a long pole and some luck, we manage to get Mage down and let the traffic go again, and survey what is left of Mage. So that is the end of Mage. Despite searching the grass verge and the hedgerows and a good look around the field, we didn't find the camera. So Mage has come to an end through no fault of our own, a manufacturing fault. Mage is no more. Long live Mage 2. We used about £100 worth of hydrogen. We used a balloon that cost around £120. We lost a camera that's going to cost £150 to replace. But Mage flew beautifully. It was well balanced. It didn't spin around. The concept is great. So we're going to try again. Now, I was disappointed, obviously, not to get the footage that we wanted. I was disappointed not to have my space cheese. And Arnold here was extremely disappointed he didn't get his space cat biscuits. We've got to do it again. Immediately after this live premiere, I'm doing a live stream where we can discuss this project and Mage 2. If you're watching this at a later point, the link to that live discussion will be in the description. I hope you'll all join us. It's been a great project. It still is. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Until then, stay sensible.
Oh, it's so disappointing, that isn't it? You try to plan.
I don't
for
know.
all
I'm kind of engrossed in the drama now.
You've tried to plan for all the variables, what could go wrong, but
Yeah,
It's
you
like
get
it's
hole
like
in
a
your
low
balloon.
budget reenactment of the early days of SpaceX.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's the poor man's Elon Musk. I think at this point, wouldn't it just be cheaper to send a drone or charter a plane? I don't know, like a helicopter, ride up in a helicopter.
Well, actually,
How much have
not-
they spent so far?
No, there's not a lot that will get you to 39,000 meters. Is the problem?
And the
Oh,
man-
that was
It's
the
not
target.
39,000 feet. It's
39,000.
39,000
They got
meters.
5,000.
Yeah. The suppliers have replaced the balloon because there's a hole in it. Free, gratis, and for nothing.
Oh, nice. So now they just need a new camera and 100
That new
pounds of
camera's-
hydrogen.
New camera's been bought. It's hoping the next 4 to 6 weeks to get the second one.
What,
Nice.
was it hydrogen or helium they filled?
Hydrogen.
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 Ooh, that's taking a chance, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was surprised by that choice.
Especially when
Cheaper
they've
and more
got,
widely available. That's what I'm saying.
especially when they end up with a balloon full of hydrogen hanging from a wire.
And a lot of it, most of it had escaped.
You're saying electricity and hydrogen doesn't go together?
Look, it's not a real experiment if you don't burn your eyebrows off. In my opinion, if you don't singe your mustache thoroughly, it's not an experiment.
A hydrogen filled lighter than aircraft in an electrical storm. Let me see.
What could possibly go wrong?
How did that work out in 1932? I wonder.
Boom.
Well, not so much boom as
Barney
whoosh.
up
No, whoosh.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
No boom.
If you've ever blown up a soap bubble full of hydrogen, it's a funny whoosh.
That's all.
Oh, Blue's awake.
He's
You
awake.
missed out on your video, Blue. We showed everyone your wood.
Oh, good. No, I had to go back to sleep for a while.
Oh, okay.
Fair. I found catnapping to be my saving grace. Working 12-hour shifts. You just get it in when you can.
Yep. Well, Sensible found out that Murphy was correct.
Yeah.
If it can, it will.
Well,
I think a gremlin
Murphy
hitched
was
a ride,
an
right?
optimist, actually.
Sorry?
I think Murphy was an optimist.
That sounds like a Heinlein quote.
Yeah.
I'll say our goodbyes, I suppose. Pip's premiere's in about just under half an hour. And that's all I've got for you, I suppose, tonight. Well, thanks, Alan. Thanks, John Dalton.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Alan.
Thanks, Pip. Thanks, Blue. Thanks, No. John, Dora, There's Boggs, there's Hads, Mira, Clive. We had Wally drop in for 2 seconds and said about half a dozen words and then had to go again.
He's a man of mystery.
Yeah, Roomfondle, Stewie, Brainery. Yeah, I see you out there, no name earlier on. Carl. I'm going to miss. I know you're going to get missed because your names are too far up the list. Hads. Zebulon. Demonov. If I've missed you, I'm sorry.
There's usually an Irish stew.
Oh yeah, no, there's an Irish stew. Yeah, Irish stew. He just dropped his name. Okay then. Good night, panel.
John Rapp.
Good night, Peanut.
Always good for a laugh.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night, Peanut.
Good night.
Water chestnuts.
Hey, you have them before.
That's gonna
Have
save
I?